Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold stream. On today's stream, we are back with some more Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, and as you can tell by the title and the thumbnail, we are playing more of the theme Chronicle, the best returning event. We gotta play as much of it as we can, because it's also a shortened time frame with which we can engage with it. Hip hip hooray. I guess it's not technically a shortened time frame, but it sure feels that way. Anywho, before we jump into that, there are a few things I want to talk about. Actually, there's one thing I want to talk about, and then we're going to react to the new Duelist Chronicle. I believe that's what they're called. I forget. But we have a Tri-Brigade, Pog. Anyway, we're gonna quickly discuss the top 10 decks from the Synchro Cup. I totally forgot to do this last time on stream, and also, I don't care. I just did not care. But, yeah, the Synchro Cup happened. Here are the top 10 decks. Is that motherfucking Tatsuku playing Crystron? Whoa. What? Anyway, yeah, he played Crystron. Cool. Playing, the Adventure Engine, which is kind of funny. New Duel Links drama involved all Duel Links tubers. All three of them. There are Duel Links tubers still? I'm sorry, hold on. There's Duel Links drama? What happened in Duel Links? Do I actually have to pay attention to Duel Links now? I sure hope not. Anyway, Crystron won. Well, actually, let's be honest. It's Tatsuku. It's not Crystron. Does Tatsuku ever stop playing this game? Here's the thing. The answer to that question is obviously no. But one thing that is very different in, I guess, just like Eastern culture, because it's like the case in China and Japan and Korea and all of those places, is that they will pick a game and then only play that game. It's not like in America or in like Europe or something like that, where they're like, oh, I enjoy this game and this game and this game, and then like play a bunch of different games. Like, for example, I have played on this channel like every card game. So, and like I've played them a bunch, right? I don't just play Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't just sit down and grind Yu-Gi-Oh! All the time. But in like Japan, in Korea, etc., they're just like, no, I play this game. That's it. That's like the one thing I do is I play this game. So it's just a weird cultural difference. It's very, very interesting. But I get it, you know, if you find a fun game, why would you play anything else? It's actually a chain link of 6 people agreeing, and now the chain is resolving backwards. What? Sorry, what? Huh? That made me more confused. Okay. Do I need to pay attention to Duel Links? We'll figure it out. Anyway, we also have Mermail. Or, fish, I guess. Fish! I guess it's Mermail, right? It's just like motherfucking Mermail. Then we have Tenpai, which is honestly not surprising, given the fact that, it's Tenpai. Then we have Mermail again. I never saw this deck. That's crazy. To be fair, I also didn't play. But yeah, it's like just Mermail all the way down. We have another Crystron list. We have 2 of them, actually, by True Zed. Oh, we have more Crystron. Here's White Forest with... What? Okay. More... Mertron. Chrismail. Mertron. Hey, it's what's his bucket? Playing Crystron. Whoa. And hey, look at that. More Crystron. Whoa. Midchurion, the greatest gem heist in Master Duel history. The sack deck sacked its way to the top, not surprising. That is true. Send is too fair/slow and relies on Bestial Engine, which Crystron doesn't play into. Kind of. The problem with Centurion is that it's not actually all that good. It doesn't have the ability to, like, consistently beat boards. it can go first real well, because that end board is very powerful if uninterrupted, but if you do get interrupted, which is highly likely, you do just immediately lose. Magical Labra has a lot of rare qualities. Okay, don't you dare say that this is a good card that they should be playing. Don't be like, oh no, it makes it. No, it doesn't. Why the fuck is this card here? What are you talking about? Why is he here? What did he do? Why is it? Is it? Oh, it's because you can play the Primite cards. Okay, that makes infinitely more sense. We were like, what could I play to play the Primite cards? Got it. That makes so much more sense. It's not Magical Labra, it's the Primite cards. Ah. Anyway, Water Cup. Even Tenpai has a water... What do you... Okay. Tasku in the middle of Worlds preparations decides to drop another first place in this event. I think they duel on a higher plane of existence from us all. That is true. Duel on a higher plane of existence? Please, they don't have a life. Instead, normal people can't dedicate their whole time to a video game. Yeah, Tatsuku is classic mad because bad. These comments are great. I love reading these. It's literally the only one of its kind. I mean, sure, you're technically not wrong. Just had a wild moment in a gacha game I was playing. I just pulled the focused thing 2 times in one 10 pull twice in a row. Congratulations. Is Duel Links doing something? Do I need to pay attention? What is this drama y'all are talking about? Did something happen? Are they releasing a set? Do I need to pay attention? Why is DuelLinksMeta.com just dying? Actually, that doesn't make sense. Why would you invest any time into a dead game? Dead game lol. Dude, I genuinely at this point do not understand how Duel Links is still functioning. Konami is like still consistently investing into it. Hello? Hello? What the hell? Oh, there we go. Extreme Overlord box announcement. Whoa. The hell is this? This card is released at 3. I love when they do that. What does this card do? If you have 5 or more wind attribute, monster type, warrior type monsters in your grave, fusion summon a wind attribute warrior type monster by shuffling monsters from hand and or grave into the deck as material. Oh. Okay. Farfa made a video about it. Then everyone, all 3 of them, reacted whether Farfa is right or wrong. But what? Do I have to watch a Farfa video? Alright. Is it just like Farfa played Duel Links and was like, God, this shit sucks? Because, true. The sad decline of Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. Okay, I don't even need to say anything else. He's right. Let me real quick discuss Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links right here, right now. Before I've seen anything else, Duel Links is in the shitter. Let's not act like that's not the case, right? Konami still is doing the same thing that they've been doing for the past, like, 7 years. And haven't really changed up the formula too much. But the problem is that there's no real incentive outside of Rush Duel to play Duel Links. However, because there's no physical way to play Rush Duel outside of specifically in the OCG, in I think just Japan actually, you're like disincentivized to actually even invest into Duel Links. And because you also have to play this stupid ass Speed Duel and Rush Duel, and you can't choose to just like play one or the other when it comes to Duel Links, it's frustrating because it's like, oh, I just want to play Rush Duel, or it's like, oh, I just want to play Speed Duel, and is like a clashing thematic. Not to mention the just obscene skills that exist in both games. The just overall, like, cost of the game is so obscene. I was trying to say insane and obscene at the same time. It's so frustrating because I've seen when it was good. Prior to Xyz, I think, and even like some moment post Xyz, the game was really fun. And like reasonable to play, right? Not something that like costed you your entire life and you could only play this game and you had to grind out like 10,000 years just to get a deck. I mean, it's always been expensive, which is, it sucks, right? They should have updated a crafting system. They should have done this. They should have done that. But like genuinely speaking, Duel Links was a great way for players to get into the game. With the release of Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, you had very simplified, like, normal summon guy, set a trap, attack. Sergeant Electro being one of the best decks of, or one of the best cards in the game. Black Brachios, etc. Windstorm of Etika, or whatever it is. The Windstorm card that, like, switches all the battle positions. Stuff like that, being good cards, were what made the game fun. And it was different enough from things like Duel Links by still providing, from like GOAT and stuff like that, by still providing like skills and stuff like that, that you were able to accomplish things. And it changed the way that the game overall functioned, while still being a simplified version of the game to actually be able to play consistently. And it was fun, because you were like a new player, right? Similar to how Rush Duel is like supposed to play. But Rush Duel doesn't really fill that void. So with the release of Rush Duel, it's just kind of its own game. It doesn't play like Yu-Gi-Oh! In any capacity at all, and it doesn't get you into actually playing Yu-Gi-Oh! When I played Duel Links, I wanted to get into the more in-depth version of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I ended up building, in paper, a Dark Lord's deck, because that was my favorite deck in Duel Links. I built it in paper, and was like, this is really cool. Moving on from that, we had like synchros added to the game, and synchros were pretty good overall, and it basically, again, kind of feels like how Edison format feels, where there was still stuff to do, but overall it was a more simplified game. It was easier to understand, it was easier to get into, and the like most complicated skill was fucking Destiny Draw, which all it did was go, hey, you took enough life point damage, draw any card in your deck. It was very powerful for quite some time, but that was it. That was like the most complicated thing in the game. Maybe like balance and stuff like that, because of math, technically was more powerful. Move along, and I think the game really hit a wall in terms of, oh, there's no going back with Onomats. When Onomats came out, the game fundamentally changed from a simplified way to play Yu-Gi-Oh! An easier game to play. Genuinely what the idea and conceit of the game was, which was speed duels, and it became something else entirely. It wasn't necessarily modern Yu-Gi-Oh!, but it was similar. The skills basically made up for a lot of the inconsistencies that a lot of decks would have, and for the most part you would just activate skill, get your full combo, and proceed from there. And it was very frustrating because pretty much from that point on, even to today, it's just activate skill, do the whole thing, pass. And even now, it's gotten worse. Because now every skill, on top of doing something, you know, for you going first or something like that, it also has a deck building constriction and a going second bonus and all of these other things, where literally the entire conceit of the game is click skill button, game plays itself. And it's frustrating because now, instead of playing Master Duel, if you want to play Duel Links, you just play Master Duel Lite. That's it. There's no real difference. It's not more simplified. It's not easier to play or easier to get into. It's frustrating. And Rush Duel being in the same game doesn't help, because it's the only way for people to play Rush Duel outside of Japan. Which means if you want to play a very fun game, at least for some people, I don't actually enjoy it, but if you do want to play a fun game, you can only play it in Duel Links, which is very expensive and not exactly, you know, the most enjoyable for everyone involved. And because it's also tied to Duel Links and speed duels, you have to play speed duels as well, but if you don't actually want to learn and understand speed duels, you're kind of forced to play the speed duels to get to the rush duels. It's very frustrating. It's not very interesting. It's just a slow grind down. And, like, the skills have gotten more and more complicated and less fun, and it's just like, ugh. Even one of my favorite decks of all time got a skill that literally just plays the game for me. Tri Brigade has a skill that literally says, hey, click the button, do the thing. And now you don't have to worry about anything. Congratulations, you win. It's like, oh, yay. And there's no real creativity with it. It's not like Master Duel or something else of that nature, where deck building is, like, incentivized, and you can actually get creative with your deck building. It's like, no, the deck plays itself. You click the skill that you want, and you build from there, which it basically auto-builds for you. Because it's so incredibly simple, and so incredibly restricted on what you can do, because of how powerful and how insane the skills are. Legacy of the Duelist was a fun one. Yeah, Legacy of the Duelist was fun, but it was also expensive as well. Because of, like, yeah, if you wanted to get a specific deck, you had to buy the DLC for it, or play against a specific guy, or what have you. It still was good, but, like, it didn't have the same... I don't know, it was almost more... It was basically just a single-player game, so... I wish they did more single-player games like they used to for Yu-Gi-Oh! But it doesn't really make sense for them to do that, because those don't really work anymore. They don't really sell anymore. But that being said, there's no real incentive to play Speed Duel, because you could just play Master Duel and have a better experience and have better decks, and it would more or less do the same thing. Because, like, the difference between Duel Links and Speed Duel, or Duel Links and Master Duel, is, like, in Duel Links, you click a yellow button that does all of your combos. And in Master Duel, you click a yellow button that does all of your combos. They do basically the same thing. But, like, if the only real reason to play Duel Links is to play Rush Duel. But Rush Duel is not consistently updated. It's updated every other, you know, cycle, basically. So you have to wait every once in a while to get a new update for Rush Duel. And also, Rush Duel is incredibly simple and boring. But, like, that's the only real reason to play Duel Links, is to play Rush Duel. So, there you go. Anyway, apparently Farfa has a video on the sad decline of Duel Links.
What comes to your mind when you think about Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links? Is it something more nostalgic, like the anime? An idiot's version of real Yu-Gi-Oh? Alright, we'll just make Raptide and main phase... Yep, that's it is Duel Links, yep. Perhaps it's the iconic trailer from many eons ago. Or maybe it's just gacha and overspending on a tier 4 deck. Oh my god, this is crazy! So call me maybe! Recently, I took it upon myself while streaming over on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/farfa, to do a little bit of a Duel Links retrospect. A review of sorts, trying to emulate the position of a new or returning player. I was going to get back into the game after a long break, so what does this game have to offer people like me? Now, of course, I will caveat and say that there is a very specific and niche privilege to someone in my position. I did all of this on a stream with thousands of viewers, so having a ton of already invested players with experience throw advice at you constantly is going to be somewhat helpful. Mostly, kinda. And so, if you watch this video until the end, you will be kinda shocked, elated, but sometimes disappointed with some of my findings and research.
Duel Links is the idiot's version of Yu-Gi-Oh! And Rush Duel, the idiot's version of Duel Links. I wouldn't say that. Rush Duel is basically its own thing at this point. I'll agree with you on the Duel Links is basically just like Master Duel Lite. But Rush Duel is basically just a different game. Like, it doesn't play at all the same. It doesn't feel the same. It doesn't look the same. it's just a different card game, and it's like, it's fine if you enjoy that game, but it's just like not Yu-Gi-Oh. So the people who like Rush Duel don't necessarily like Yu-Gi-Oh. And the people who like Yu-Gi-Oh don't necessarily like Rush Duel, and it's frustrating that they're fucking tied together. It's like, make a Rush Duel game. I would play the Rush Duel game if it was just a Rush Duel game. I wouldn't, I'm lying to you, but people would. Right.
In January 2022, the release of Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel changed everything for the digital landscape of Konami's licensing of one of the biggest anime franchises in history. Master Duel, across all metrics, became the way to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Online and met the demands for all kinds of players that Duel Links just wasn't really catering to. Duel Links is Yu-Gi-Oh! But ultimately, it just isn't going to scratch the itch of a TCG player. As a population begging for a way to play Yu-Gi-Oh! The card game online, Master Duel was surely going to be it. Did it hit the mark? Different video. At the time, the biggest content creator for Duel Links was Decade, formerly Duel Links Meta, who with no understatement essentially carried the entire competitive landscape of the game in the West. Weekly turn.
I must say, I genuinely do not think if Decade didn't exist, people would give a shit about Duel Links in the West. Just straight up. What?
Tournaments, meta breakdowns, deck profiles, all garnering millions of views. Decade's impact on the Duel Links landscape could be a documentary in and of itself, but here's the problem I remember seeing with this. There was no one else really putting up these levels of numbers within the Duel Links space. Out of the hundreds of Yu-Gi-Oh! Friends I've made over the years, I think I can name about 4 of them who have actually played longer than like a season. I know, personal anecdote, non-objectifiable reality, but where are the Duel Links players?
They nerfed Nova but released Tax Dragon. Yeah.
According to Steam Charts, the platform which covers the PC client, not the mobile client, Duel Links was at a steady, I don't know, 6,000-7,000 concurrent players, with bigger numbers being put up around COVID, easily attributable to people having more space and time, and then with Master Duel becoming the de facto title and quintessential gameplay for online Yu-Gi-Oh!, Duel Links, at least to me and the communities I occupy, appears to have kind of fallen off a cliff, dividing its average concurrent player base by 2 overnight and dwindling to around 2,000 to 3,000 players per month ever since. So here we are in August.
The thing with Duel Links is that you have to remember it's mostly big as a mobile game. And so while the numbers say like, oh, Steam game, it died, it fell off a cliff. Master Duel is a Steam game first, mobile game second. Duel Links is the opposite. It's a Steam game second and a mobile game first. And so a lot more people are going to play it as a mobile game because that's the whole point and conceit of the deck, or of the game itself, right? Is that you can just play it like on the go. Now, does that necessarily mean that Duel Links is being played by all of these players consistently? Probably not. But at the very least, like, I know I have picked up the game a ton, just like on my phone, and don't necessarily consistently play it on Steam. So my number wouldn't necessarily get tracked.
August 2025. Duel Links kind of a shell of its former self, yet still doing fine by the numbers. According to the stats and at Magic, the numbers of current Duel Links was 100,000 downloads in July, and that is around the same as Master Duel. As for revenue generated, an estimated $1 million, half of the $2 million that Master Duel raked in, not to be compared to the absolute titan of Pokemon Pocket or Shadowverse release, but it's still alive and apparently not trailing too far behind Master Duel.
People
According
are
to
actually
Steam
playing
Charts, Duel Links amasses around
What a
1,700
tragedy
active
for
users
all
per
of
month,
those
which
involved.
is fairly small compared to Master Duel, about 10 times the size. But of course, Duel Links being a primarily mobile game is obviously going to have a mammoth following on devices outside of Steam. So this could be a very misleading statistic. We just don't really have a way to gauge this other than some of the estimations made on AppMagic. AppMagic being a website that kind of gauges the popularity of games based off of the publicly available downloaded amounts of the game itself on various devices and through different app stores. And then with the market research there's obviously going to be a lot of extrapolation and estimation when it comes to the revenue specifically, because that's just
I
something
wonder how
that isn't,
much
publicly
Shadowverse
available.
made
What is the closest
on
that we can have to
Steam?
kind of seeing where the game is at?
Something to think about.
At its core, Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links is Speed Duel, which most of you are probably familiar with, but
What is Duel Links today? I'll tell you. It's just Master Duel but bad, and you click a skill button. That's
if not,
pretty
it is
much
a form of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where normal summons, special summons, extra deck, the spells and traps,
Doki
they're all
doki.
the same, with the caveat that there is no main phase 2, and there's less zones. In practice, it is just Yu-Gi-Oh! But in theory, a little less slower and a little less crazy. In theory. The biggest difference is that Duel Links has skills. These are abilities that immediately can be used whenever their activation requirement has been met. They either have some sort of archetype relevance to their anime character, or some sort of utility regarding the meta. These can range anywhere from simple attack boosts and maybe a graveyard lock of sorts to it can be activated before your normal draw. What are the cards from your normal draw?
Oh, yay! Farfa's reading a fucking skill. This isn't even a good skill. Holy shit, this isn't even a good skill. This isn't even one of the skills that, like, is 10 pages long.
Draw this turn will be a Dragon of Pride and Soul. Send all the cards from your hand, deck, extra, and field to the graveyard, and return all of your banished cards. Sorry, what? Send all other cards from your hand, deck, extra, and field to the graveyard, and return all of your banished cards to the grave. And if you have 25 or more cards in your grave, randomly send 25 cards with the same names as those in your graveyard from outside of your deck to your opponent's graveyard. After using this, you can't normal or special except Dragon of Pride or activate card effects for the rest of this duel. The relevant effect is number 2. That's not the relevant effect! While skills used to be a nice little bonus in your deck years ago, just a way to help you get back into the game with something like Destiny Draw or to seal off your opponent's grave for a turn, many of these skills have become deciding game pieces that
God, look at this stupid ass skill. Did you see?
with something like Destiny Draw or to seal off your opponent's grave for a turn. Many of these skills have become
what the Oh, Duel Links.
Deciding game pieces that are mandatory uses for the competitive viability of so many decks. Conceptually, one of the positives of these skills is that it allows archetypes to do things that maybe the designers intended them to do 10 years ago, but they just didn't really have the consistency or really the sort of array of support cards that would really help them to achieve that. And of course, when you have a digital game that can just immediately add cards from outside of a deck,
it's probably just like 25 Dark
Magicians,
Magicians, right?
Super wacky, and dare I say,
something
very
stupid
fun.
like
That is where the vision gets actually realized. Conversely, a lot of people have kind of complained that recent players are just sort of playing skills instead of decks. These abilities have become so powerful and so integral and adjacent to certain archetypes that you're kind of just following an on-rail track towards what the designers intended you to do in one unchainable instance. For me, I still don't know if I'm a big fan of skills. I suppose they do in some sort of form take away from the essence of Yu-Gi-Oh, but it does transform it into something new and unique.
Also, skills wouldn't trigger.
And there's obviously a massive appeal in this.
Skills
the
don't trigger
consistency and viability for certain archetypes that they gain just from the existence of these skills is absolutely massive and obviously extremely fun for people who like those decks. But to tell you the truth, the biggest problem that I have with skills and stuff like that in Duel Links is everything associated with around obtaining them and leveling up towards them, etc. When you build a deck in Duel Links, you build a deck played by a character.
I agree with like the way that grinding this game feels. It's such a slog, dude. Like, I'm gonna be 1000% honest with you. If you were new to Duel Links right now, there is not a chance in hell you would be able to keep up with the game. Just like period. Because there's so many characters. There's so many cards. There's so much random shit you need. From so many different areas. From leveling up to like different boxes to different rewards and stuff like it. You just can't keep up.
Like Yugi or Joey or Jaden, and it's fine, but the problem is that to really optimize your deck, you want to play a character that has synergy with your deck. Most of the run-of-the-mill average skills are usable by a big number of characters in the game, but the thing is, some have really important ones. For example, you kind of just can't play Infernity optimally without, like, Kalen. Kalen requires you to level him up. It's just gacha gameplay, yeah. You have to first of all obtain and unlock Kalen, which I can't even remember how anymore, but at least when I did it many years ago, you had to do a X number of summons or deal X damage while in 5D's world, and then you had to level them, either by playing as them and dueling in ranked, or against various PvE, player versus environment bots. The problem, of course, being that PvE bots have a timer that they don't just respawn instantly to. You can't just sit and farm them infinitely. However, if you do want to level a character faster, you can pay to have more PvE bots respawn faster and grant more XP. And there's even an option to auto-duel. Yes, you can click a button and it automatically duels for you. What are we doing here? Anyway, as someone who just wants to play Yu-Gi-Oh at its core, having skills and very important game pieces locked behind the leveling system is frustrating. How do I get Gallant Granite? It says it's from the event. How long is that going to take me? Can I like just get the Granite, like a couple of duels in and out, fun little journey? Days! For anyone who has ever played Adamantipator, the deck that I chose to run during my return to the game, you're likely very familiar with how important Gallant Granite is.
You can't get anything
that allows you to
just
search a rock.
for free.
Searching Block Dragon is sort of the heart and soul combo of the deck. Well, in order to get Gallant Granite, you have to win, I believe it's 40 ranked games, but then here's the paradox. You have to play a very suboptimal version of the deck in ranked. Now let me level with you here. So this idea of a almost RPG-like system where very slowly over time your deck gets more powerful and stronger as you obtain more cards, I think conceptually is really cool and definitely has a place, in my opinion, more so in a PvE environment. When it comes to PvP and in a game that has microtransactions,
this is my biggest gripe with gacha games in general. I understand that's the whole reason why gacha games have PvP elements, is so that people will be like, I'm gonna be better than you, or something like that, right? I hate PvP elements. I hate them so much. They're so bad. If I'm playing a gacha game and it's PvP, it's awful. It's terrible. It always feels so much worse because you will always be so much worse off if you do not spend money, and it like that's the whole point. You want to they want you to spend money, but it's just like it's also so boring. The PvP is always so lame. It's horrible every time. I've never seen a PvP in a gacha game actually be good. The only thing is, like, in Duel Links, they made the game around the PvP first and foremost, so it's actually playable. That being said, it still sucks. It's still frustrating. Ugh. Anyway, moving on.
becomes really frustrating and not fun. Ultimately, at the low ranks, yeah, you will just be bullying children, but as you get higher and higher, you are going to encounter good players and good decks, and if you just don't have these important cards and game pieces...
Oh, timer. Why do you have 5 seconds to play out Adamantator?
Behind optimization.
How far into the reaction chain did we get? We are
events
on
where you go and duel
video.
against various characters from across the Yu-Gi-Oh franchise based on difficulty settings. Only
Unless
reason you would want to
unless
go
you
into
have
a
like
game
a
is to find
specific
out the
video
grind.
where
You
you're
have to collect
like, you
random
gotta watch
keys
this
to
guy
unlock
go
the gate, to
in
play the duel,
crazy.
to get points and hope a very specific card you need randomly drops. This is such a frustrating mess of gate after paywall after level up reward. So many barriers and obstacles to just getting maybe like one optimal, really important piece or card in your deck that actually brings it all together.
Okay, I have an anecdote for this, a personal one. One of the best decks when I started playing the game was Neos, Cyberdark Neos. Because what you would do is you would activate Neos Fusion, which would send a dragon monster that you could equip off of a Cyberdark, and then you'd go like Cyberdark Edge to attack directly. And you would do that over the course of a couple of turns, and you'd win the duel. Backed up with like a few back row and maybe some other Cyberdarks or what have you for additional equips. That was the general game plan. It was very simple. But what it required is one, a structure deck, which you can buy at least one with gems, and then you can buy the rest with money. Okay, reasonable. However, the second thing it required was the Cyberdarks. And all of those could only be obtained by going to the Zane gate and grinding Zane's duel to beat him over and over and over again, and hoping and praying that he dropped the correct cards. I grinded for like a month to try and obtain these stupid cards. And I got like none of them. Okay? I got like none of them. And then new box comes out, and it was, I think, Dark Lords. Or something of that nature. I think Dark Lords came out, and it was like, oh, cool. Now you no longer have to play that deck because it's not optimal. And all of that time you spent doesn't matter. 10 out of 10 game. 10 out of 10 game.
Now, thankfully,
this was
everything
back
else
when the game was
described,
good,
for the most
too!
part, in recent times, hasn't been as relevant. With anniversary events, box releases, login bonuses, and all the kind of stuff that you can expect from a gacha, they have sort of introduced more skips that you can get, like these tickets or skill chips that are exchanged for things you actually need from these gates historically. Now, not all cards can be obtained via these returnee, like, tickets, etc. Usually not the best ones. So can I get an actual Adamantipator card from here? Secret.
No.
That's not the secret I was looking for. That's not the same secret, actually. And the skill chips can be exchanged to get those skills or character drops, because unless you played the game from release, you're kind of just going through hoops of these tedious, boring grinds to play the 37th best deck in the game. So all of that to say is that sometimes optimizing in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links is not even so much a case of just spend more money, although spending more money does fix about 95% of the problems. There are also just events and time-gated situations where you can't get some cards. I remember very vividly a couple years ago when I was trying to play Burning Abyss, I just couldn't get Leviathan Dragon. It was just locked behind a time-gated event that I didn't play at the time, so I just didn't have that card. This the worst experience I've had in a game. Oh, please, please, Seeker, please, 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 please. Ah! Worst day of my life, dude. Actually, the worst day of my life. Okay, imagine if this is research right. So I'm just gonna explain this to you like you're a little bit Macedo-brained. Let's say you want to play Dragon Maid, which I think was in the set early this year. You have to go to the shop.
Imagine having a crafting system. Anyway.
Up and purchase packs for the Dragon Maid set. Okay, so far so good, right? I mean, that's pretty logical, right? Now you buy 10 packs, and you don't pull any Dragon Maid cards. Womp womp. Unlucky. At least you, I don't know, maybe pulled like a super rare. Let's exchange this super rare that we don't want for a currency or a dust of sorts, so that I can use it to get another card I want instead because it wants to play Evil Swarm or whatever other random archetype they put in the same pack that almost never has any real synergy or even thematic overlap with one another. That's not to say Macedo doesn't do that. I mean, come on. Tearlament, Mermel, Water, I guess there is no crafting system in Duel Links. Not a meaningful one. Anyway. You cannot obtain cards by simply making them. Now,
I started playing Duel Links with Ancient Gear. And then I think Cyber Dragon Neos, and then it was Dark Lord. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe Cyberdark Neos was around the same time as Ancient Gear. Beside the point. And then it was Dark Lord. That was when I really started, but I technically started playing Duel Links before that in like normal Summon Sergeant Electro Turbo meta, which if you don't know, that meta was incredible. Farfetch 2 times speed. He's at 1.5 times speed. Unless you've sped me up. He's currently at 1.5. He's not at 2. Let's see. Anyway, beside the point. What was I saying? So when it came to the metas, what I experienced was like Dark Lord and Thunder Dragon and like a bunch of really fun stuff, to be fair. And so, but I also was aware of a lot of the other stuff as well that happened, like Taya, like Paradox, like the Weevil Burn, etc. And that stuff was awful. But that, you know, it always wanes and grows and stuff like that, you know, dips and wanes, or whatever it's called. Waxes and wanes. That's the word I was looking for. But yeah. My favorite meta will always be the Noble Knight meta. That was so sick. The mirror match was super cool. All of the other decks that were in the meta were like Thunder Dragon and stuff like that, and Ritual Beast, which were also very fun. There's just like a ton of really fun things that you could do, and it was super nice. And the skills weren't like obscene. They were strong, but they weren't obscene, and they like changed the way that you played the game, but they weren't like the entire game, which was very cool. And then immediately Automats came out, and it was like, Automats were before that, and then it was the Noble Knight meta, and then right after was Rose Dragon, which also was just like skill turbo.
90% of the cards in the game, and within that 90% you can guarantee that these are the ones you actually want. The good cards, the new decks and archetypes, these all have to be pulled naturally. You just have to randomly pull the cards you need. Now, it isn't as bad as it sounds, because when you pull from a box, the boxes have a limited supply. Think of an actual real-life booster box, except it's significantly bigger, and it has every single card in the set within. So if you pull enough packs, you will get the card you need because every card is in the box. Here's the catch. In order to create a rarity system to dilute the good pulls, you may find that some common cards have a total of 6 copies in the box, whereas the ultra rare has 1. So a box with over 200 packs means that you're going to be flooded with essentially just pack filler before you finally get the ultra rare you need. Yeah. And of course, a lot of the ultra rares you need are 3-ofs, like my Adamantipator Researcher, meaning 3 total boxes have to be pulled just for 3 copies of Adamantipator Researcher. Okay, so let's say you use like a bundle deal, and then you buy 40 packs. Miraculously, you get lucky and you pull the ultra rare you need in, I don't know, pack number 2. What happens to the rest of those 38 packs? I only needed the ultra rare, maybe a couple of supers. Can I just move on to the next box? Tough. Because you pulled the one-off ultra rare in the entire set, the remaining 38 packs are just cards that you don't really want or cards that are not a priority, and you should have just reset the box. The problem with using reset the box after you pull an ultra is that it only resets after you pull all the ultras in the set, not the one you're specifically looking for. So if you do get that illustrious Adamantipator Researcher as your first ultra rare pull of the box, you're gonna have to open the rest of the packs from that bundle you bought and just keep opening them and hope you get the supers in the process. But the most important card is
Duel
ultra.
Links.
So in Duel Links, technically, the optimal way to min-max this almost criminal system of obtaining cards is to pull one pack at a time. The problem with pulling one pack at a time is that it is so much more expensive than using the bundle deals, but the bundle deals have all the risks of over-pulling from a box that need to be reset on pack, 3 out of 37 as an example. Why are you playing Duel Links? Because I hate myself! Sorry. It's good content. So everything I just mentioned is nothing new.
Content.
This has been how the game has been designed.
Everyone loves Duel Links
from the beginning. So yeah, no disenchanting, no dusting, no crafting. That is my biggest, #1 issue with Duel Links and why I won't be playing the game consistently. However, when you do get into the game and when you do start playing, it is some of the most wacky, enjoyable fun I've had. But hey,
it's harder to get the last SR you are.
There is a currency in the game called gold. What is it for? I don't know. I think I've engaged with the system like once ever. You accrue literal millions of this shit, and you use it on the card trader. But you see, since you have such a massive influx of this, I would probably equate it to maybe something equivalent of like the rare and normal dust in Master Duel. It's not as prominent of a system in currency to actually meaningfully obtain decks. You are not going to be building
also these cards always suck ass. There's like one card ever that matters in this stupid guy, and like occasionally he'll show up with a new UR like Tornado Dragon or like Nightmare Mermaid or something like that. That's actually
it will flesh out and fully optimize some decks and some cards from the card trader, but nothing close to impact on deck building. Simply buying packs from the cash shop is going to do. I use the deck builder to create my list, and let's just not dedicate an entire section to the absolute most convoluted and clunky UI of Duel Links, but I had a rough idea of what I wanted to play. 20 cards with a 9-card extra deck.
Bro has never played another TCG, because I'll tell you right now, if brother had ever played Magic the Gathering Arena, goddamn, trying to interact with that interface makes me want to claw my eyes out. Don't make me do that again. If I can't literally just go copy, paste, and I have to like change out a card because I don't have the crafting material, I might just shoot myself. Why are you like that, Magic? Why do you do this? Just please update the UI. Please make it just slightly better. Please, it'd be so nice. Anyway, I'm going to build your deck for an hour, then realize you're in the wrong format. I could talk for days about all of the just fundamental UI failures in Magic Arena, because it's so laughable how bad it is. Anyway, as much as people complain about Duel Links, building a deck on Duel Links on your phone is actually pretty seamless. It's very nice. The problem is that doesn't translate well to Steam, where most people who make content on it would play the game. But like actually playing on your phone, building a deck on Duel Links is not bad. Obviously, you're still building a deck on your phone, so it takes like 10 times longer, but still, it's pretty good. And you can very clearly tell the game is app first, Steam second. And that is very intentional. And it works. It just doesn't work as well because so many people are like used to Steam versions and like Steam games, especially when it comes to content creation. So they're going to complain more if the Steam version is terrible. But like, again, the app is very good, especially when it comes to deck building and stuff like that. Duel Links as a app functions. It's not perfect, but it functions.
Is interesting. I hate the word interesting because it's usually such a nothing word from a literary perspective, but this was genuinely interesting. Flipping TCG decks on their head and making you rethink consistency, ratios, and even combos, because now your extra deck is so limited, or in this case, because your deck is actually so much more consistent, is a genuinely fun and thought-provoking process. Do I really need 3 Block Dragon in 20? Can I maybe just play 2? Should I really be running all 6 Quackimerus? Do I go over 20 and just play Karthorther and Turtle as well? What about Xenogut?
Farfa, I hate to tell you this. It no longer matters. Almost every single meta deck in the past, like, however many years, has just been skill, 25 to 30 cards. Whatever your skill requirement is, 25 to 30 cards, so that you see the most amount of staples, so that you... Because your skill is all of your consistency, and then you just do the staples. If your deck doesn't do that, you're not good. Your deck just hasn't been good in the last, like, 3 years. That sucks, but it's true. The amount of times I have seen a, like, around 20 card list on Duel Links meta has been... at least in, like, the past couple of years, has been, like, I don't know, I could probably count them on my one hand, the amount of times I've seen that. It just doesn't happen anymore. Everything goes over 30, or everything goes over 20. Everything goes into, like, the higher numbers, because your skill just does all of the consistency for you. There's no real deck building, there's no real thought. It's just, put 30 cards in, click the skill. It's frustrating. I do like the idea, you know, theoretically there's an idea there. Theoretically, that is something interesting, but in reality...
And Tackle Crusader and Revival Golem. What is my end board going to look like with such a small extra deck count? And how does my unique skill contribute to the deck? With all of this in mind, after a nightmare session of obtaining the cards, I finally had something resembling a deck. Or did I? Well, I don't know about you, but this is Adamantipator. This game is sick. I can't even tell you how much fun I had once I actually started to queue into the duels once I got the cards I needed. It is so good.
Wait, he had fun? There's no way.
Good, and it's just such a shame how sandbagged and how paywalled everything is. Like, it is such a unique breath of fresh air on a take on Yu-Gi-Oh! That, you know, wasn't like Cross Duel. God, Jeff, remember Cross Duel? Do you miss Cross Duel? I miss Cross Duel, dude. It's fast, it's wacky, the skills create
I actually do kind of miss Cross Duel because it was so bad
ridiculous moments and
that
combos. It is dumb fun, and I don't know what else to say. It was fantastic. The rank decay system meant that despite having been king of games multiple times, I had to go back to the cesspool of Rookie and Bronze, so I couldn't really give you a detailed explanation of what the metagame looks like or how the format feels, and all of the fun I had, I mean, let's be real, it could be very much overshadowed by the fact that I was winning all the time, so who knows what it would be like against an actual competent deck. But ultimately, this experiment was...
I'm going to tell you right now, I have played this a bunch, and every time you, like, even remotely, as you start to play against an actual meta deck, and you start to play against competent players, the game is not fun. It immediately becomes unfun. Because pretty much every time what ends up happening is you do a thing, and then the opponent activates their skill and goes, cool, here's the out that you have no way of interacting with. Smile. Wow. Whoa. Imagine having fun playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Imagine. That's crazy. I'm glad he had fun. At the very least, like, he was able to have fun. And to be fair, I do that as well. I do still have fun playing Duel Links, but the reason I have fun is entirely different. I have fun because I get to play Tri-Brigade. I get to play Unchained. I get to play some of my favorite decks of all time. Thunder Dragon, Ritual Beast, etc. Dark Lord. I get to play these decks that in Master Duel have been outscaled. You just can't play them. Because everyone's playing like meta decks or top tier decks or something like that. That like playing one of these decks is just like a struggle. Right? Especially something like Dark Lord that's been so heavily outpaced. It's just like, oh, it's just frustrating. In Duel Links, I can do that. Because, like, I just am better than most people at the level I'm at. In, like, gold or silver or what have you. And so, for the most part, I do actually get enjoyable games. But as soon as you start playing against actual humans, it just becomes so boring, so fast. I cannot express to you how much I despise, like, every single skill. Draconic Contact, the Speedroid skill, the new Despia skill, just, like, it's always the skill. It always is the skill, and it's just frustrating.
About dedicating an entire afternoon to jumping back in, playing the game as a new/returning player to experience what's available in a more casual setting.
Yeah,
which for this specific occasion, in my circumstance specifically, it was fun, honestly. I probably
finally
spent a little bit more than I intended to with my budget. I think I spent about $50, but that got me 2.5 decks, a Adamantipator deck missing 1 or 2 Researcher. I got most of the branded deck missing, I think, 1 Aliver, and I think Chimera is also done as well, so I can play full power branded if I want to. The problem is, like, you know...
Okay, to be fair, this is abnormal. Most of the time, if you were to pull from one set, you would not be able to make one deck. This most recent pack is very advantageous to pull for in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links because you actually get like 3 competent decks from it. Except for the fact that I'm lying to you because Despia without the Dark Lord cards kind of does fuck all. But like that is technically the case.
It'd be nice if I could just play the deck I wanted to and intended to play.
Also, this game,
Shout out to the massive
you die so fast in this game. It sucks. It's so frustrating because you just like explode. It's like, hey, nice 4,000 life points you have there. It'd be a shame if I looked at you the wrong way and you died. It's like, oh, cool, yeah. Sick.
I honestly didn't even know that I had.
Oh, you made one mistake?
I opened the door room and it was filled, no joke, within like 30 seconds. People showing off cool decks, which for context was faster than some of the Master Duel rooms I've opened. Where do you people come from? Why is there this many Duel Links players? There's no way there's this many Duel Links players. Oh, I don't get it. I don't get it. There is obviously a demand for Duel Links, and there must be a sizable, thriving player base who love this game for lots of positive gameplay related reasons. It's a fun, enjoyable experience at its core. The games are fast, despite the absurd levels of power creep that's occurred since I last hit King of Games. I think it was Baby Raccoons who made a big token in set Fiendish Chain. There's a lot of good positive takeaways from Duel Links. The skills are unique, different, and interesting, although some of them really are just one-card combos that utilize 8 things from outside your deck. I guess I'll never really fully understand the game to its complete depth because I don't intend to play again really or more consistently. Again, my biggest problem with Duel Links has never really been so much gameplay related. It is the overflowing,
I fucking hate the gameplay.
Overabundance, clunky UI, paywalls, gatekeeping, and just obstacles that are always in place when it comes to getting cards. But maybe some of you had a different kind of experience playing Duel Links in the anniversary event earlier this year, or maybe some of you did return to play Branded and Adamantipator, or even Rush Duel for whatever
Duel
reason. I
Links
guess that's
players
the thing.
are
I didn't even try
starving
that,
for
sorry, so that's not what this video is
attention.
about. But there is a whole other game mode I heard is significantly cheaper. But I, of course, was focusing on Speed Duel, which is at its core more of the Yu-Gi-Oh! That I was interested in playing. So thank you so much, everyone, for watching.
Here is the true decline. The true sad decline of Duel Links. They had such a fantastic product to get people into regular Yu-Gi-Oh! It was a phenomenal pipeline because speed duels were so clean. They were so fun. They were simple. They were easy. They were quick. Back in the Synchro era. Before Xyz, before Pendulums, before Links, before everything. With Synchros, all you had to do was figure out what a fucking tuner was, and that's it. That was like the most complicated thing in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. And then they kept going, and they released Xyz, and then they released pendulums. And then they released Lynx, and it's gone downhill with every new iteration of the summoning mechanic, and it's continually going downhill for that exact reason. Because you just ruined the essence of what Speed Duels was meant to be. And because they also cut ties to the Speed Duel in paper, you also can't play fucking Speed Duel in paper. Which also sucks. Because that was also a great way to get newer players into the game. And so, that to me is the worst problem with Duel Links. Is that they had this really solid idea, this really solid game that worked really well to get newer players to play it, and they just made it Master Duel Lite. And I do like Master Duel. I play it a bunch. But I'm not going to play Duel Links when I could just go play Master Duel, which is just objectively a better game. Well, okay, subjectively. But, like, realistically, it's objectively a better game. Random raid bosses threatening your life with a bricky was always common. Speedle Dex went out as the GOAT for reaching its conclusion and not trying to approach universal heat death. Yeah. There are people that complain of cards like Nirvana High Paladin, but happily play Duel Links with the new skills. I don't think those people exist. I don't know who you're talking about. Anyway, apparently other people cared about what Farfa had to say as well. Oh, MBT. Oh, cool. MBT reacted to the thing. Should we read some of the comments? Oh no, my Master Duel died. Sad thing is that Duel Links has the foundation of an amazing game. It provides basically everything that is missing from Master Duel: an anime theme and focus, much more fleshed out single player content, a lower power level format, Rush Duel, etc. The skills are an amazing idea that provide basically unlimited potential for otherwise unplayable decks to see use. So far I absolutely agree with this. Duel Links has had some of the craziest metas of all time. My Gaga sister has another effect. If you never played the game, you wouldn't believe that the meta deck of a format was playing a Cup of Ace and Desperado Barrel Dragon, or that Gen X controller had to get semi-limited because of what a meta. I forgot about that. Oh, Gen X controller being semi-limited was one of the funniest shits of all time. Because, if you don't know, the way that semi-limiting works in Duel Links is that you can only play 2 of any semi-limited card. Same thing with limited cards, same thing with limited to 3 cards. So, basically, if there are 2 semi-limited cards, you can only play 1 of each, or 2 of one and none of the other, right? So, what Gen X Controller was specifically semi-limited because at the same time, Treacherous Trap Hole, which literally is a trap that says if you have no other traps, pop 2 cards on the field. Pop 2 monsters on the field, right? That card was also semi-limited. So, with Crystron, you just wouldn't play any other traps, and you would play 2 of the semi-limited card. But you would also need a starter, and the best starter in the deck was Undyne, because Undyne, you would normal summon it, you would search a Gen X controller by sending a water machine, which would end up being, of course, a Crystron. So, what you ended up doing is that you would normal summon the guy to search out the Gen X controller, right? But with Gen X controller specifically semi-limited, oftentimes you would also play 2 of that card, because if you drew it, it would suck. So a lot of people would play 2 of that card for Undyne to make sure that they had the ability to send a guy, because if you didn't, you were just, like, boned. Like, you just couldn't do anything, right? But with the semi-limitation of the Gen X controller, you could only play 1 of those cards, so you could either forego playing Treacherous Trap Hole, which was such an insanely busted card, or you could forego playing the Undyne engine, which you're not going to do. So what ended up happening is you would play 1 and 1, and if you just drew the Gen X controller, you were just boned. happens. It was very silly, it was very stupid, but yeah. The only thing stopping this game from greatness, the only thing stopping this game, oh, honey, there's like a million things stopping this game from being as good as it could be. The only thing stopping this game from greatness is how hard Konami tries to stop you from actually being able to play it at any given step of the way. Yes and no. I do genuinely think that the game has power crept itself into irrelevancy due to the simple fact that right now there is not a reason to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links outside of playing Rush Duel. Because if you want to play Speed Duel, why not just play Master Duel? Like, they are pretty much at the same point right now. Like, yes, the metas are technically different, but the actual gameplay is so similar that there's not really much of a difference. Like, even hand traps are still... Like, Valor is literally the most played card in the game in Duel Links. The only thing stopping it is the game itself. Yeah, true. If it was just a $40 game with multiplayer feature and none of the gacha mechanics, well, okay, that would change the entire mechanic of the way that the game... Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Early, I feel like it would easily eclipse any other Yu-Gi-Oh! Games that are sold in the past decade. Yes, but it would also make significantly less money. Anyway, moving on. Once Master Duel came out, Duel Link's terrible monetization was inexcusable. Instead of fixing it, they doubled down on skills that ruined the game for everyone. This is another big thing. Yes, the monetization is absolutely aggressively bad. It's horrible how bad it is. There is no world in which this should be the monetization method, or more specifically, not monetization, but the act of obtaining cards. I don't mind having to pay money to get a specific card necessarily, but the problem is that you cannot craft or decraft cards in a satisfying way, or in a way that like actually makes sense, right? So it just ends up being frustrating because you're like locked into hoping and praying that you get the cards that you want and or need. And if you don't, you literally cannot play your deck optimally. And in order to try and do that, you either have to spend a shit ton of money, or you have to grind for years, which is just not really feasible because the meta changes too quickly. The game either updates way too quickly, or you have to spend a shit ton of money, and it's very frustrating. I appreciate Duel Links for being the normie-friendly, easily accessible. Normie-friendly, easily accessible, anime money hole. Normie-friendly? No, it's a gacha game. Like, it's not really normie-friendly. You have to spend a shit ton of time playing the game. Easily accessible, not anymore. Skills and other such things just take way too fucking long to actually read and to understand. They are basically just as complicated as learning like 10,000 cards like regular Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime, yes. I'll give you that one. I played Duel Links pretty much every day from the moment I learned it existed in late 2019 until Master Duel came out in 2020. In 2022. I had like 1,109-day unbroken login streak by the time I finally stopped playing regularly. Yeah, that makes sense. Apparently the last time I turned it on was almost a year ago because Harmonizing Magician was added and I rapidly remembered why I stopped playing to begin with and wound up not even grinding to pull the card. True. This is how I feel every time I play this game. What ruined Duel Links for me is that it was Master Duel's crafting system. It took me months of free-to-play grinding and spending more money than I've ever spent on a mobile game to build the Duel Links version of Odd Eyes Magician Ew. I was able to build the actual complete version of the deck on day one of Master Duel without spending a dime. True. Duel Links is so aggressively pay to win, it took having Master Duel as another official option to finally show me that. And ever since, not bothered since I'm not losing. I'm not losing because I made poor choices with deck building or strategy, but because I don't want to spend my entire paycheck on a chance to get a card I need. This right here is a big thing with Duel Links. It's one of the same reasons why I am so frustrated with Shadowverse right now, because I have spent zero on Shadowverse. And I can fucking tell. Dude, the difference between having a high power card that is high rarity and not having said card is fucking night and day in that game. And it's very similar in Duel Links, and it's very frustrating. It existed of the actual paywalled content of the game, like selection packs, oh gosh, structure decks, oh gosh. And the fact that after finishing on leveling up characters, stages, missions, your sources of gems become way more scarce. True. These are the elements that are competitively viable free-to-play account, basically, that make a competitively viable free-to-play account basically impossible. Let's watch MBT react to Farfa reacting to, what was I gonna say? Duel Links free to play. What was his name? Bran. Oh, what's his name? He's one of the Duel Links mods. It's Bradez HD. Let me see if this actually pulls up. Here we go. 5 fucking years ago! If you don't know, this guy is like one of the few Duel Links players still. He decided to go on a journey to build from scratch a start over and build
Welcome
a meta
to Duel Links
deck,
from scratch.
towards a
Help make
meta
the
deck.
series easier or a lot harder for me, as you so choose. Our goal is of course to reach the elusive King of Games title, but also should it interest you guys to compete in one of Duel Links Meta's top tier tournaments and see just how far we can get. It's going to be an exciting journey, I'm sure. But before we get into today's episode, a big thank you to
Mind you, before Master Duel.
my brand new YouTube members, Purple Ben, Brendan, and
Bro's an
David.
OG,
Thank you for
yep,
supporting the channel
and he's
from
still
as little
playing
as
this
$1 per
game.
month.
And
Great to have a content.
I
And now
feel sorry
let's
for
dive
him.
in to Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links from scratch. So day 1, my main focus was to reach stage 7 because at stage 7, you unlock the ability to participate in any ongoing
by the way,
events,
there's
as
new
well as the card
Digimon.
trader, which
Hopefully
would
we
be
play
pretty
that at
vital
some
in securing
point.
our copies of Magician's Rod, hopefully earlier than just from Arcane's level rewards by themselves. Now, I did a poll over my community tab earlier in the day, and it was pretty clear early on that Dark Magician was going to win, but Cyber Dragons weren't too far behind, and thankfully, both the core cards of those decks can be found in the Future Horizon box, so when we get to the packs, when we get to that set, we will essentially be killing 2 birds with 1 stone, and as the series goes on, we can maybe, play DM and play Cyber.
I want to tell you this right now. He never builds an optimized version of either deck. And he plays for several episodes. I don't remember how many episodes he actually
It
ends
is
up
time to
playing.
dive.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. Wow, he actually plays this game. That's crazy.
Welcome
He plays
to
8
Duel Links from
episodes.
scratch. This is a brand new experiment I'm doing to see just how far towards a meta deck you can.
He does end up making it to King of Games.
Welcome to Duel Links from scratch. This is a brand new experiment I'm doing to see just how far towards a meta deck you can get from being entirely free to play, but also with a time limit of around 1 hour of game time a day. Now, not everyone
plays 1 hour a day.
hardcore event grinder, so we're going to have to use our time wisely to get the most value out of our gaming. I'll also be involving you, the community, throughout this journey, so keep an eye on the channel on the community tab. Make sure you're subscribed so you can help make the series easier or a lot harder for me, as you so choose. Our goal is of course to reach the elusive King of Games title. If you want to support the channel from as $1 per month, link down below to the join button click of Duel Links from scratch. So it is the 1st of September and we're back in Duel Links. We have the Igami event going on. He's now unlockable. This account has a very fuck. That is not the
I think this is... Oh, no. This is an event deck. Let me...
3. We're gonna bring out our Prismatic Dark.
Do we end up seeing the deck that he plays to get to King of Games and where it ends up? Almost there. There you go. So this is his. This is what he ends up on, which is not a complete deck, as you can tell, right? So you can see that even after he makes it to King of Games, he still doesn't even have a fully optimized Dark Magician deck. Not only that, he doesn't get any other deck. He basically plays one deck the entire series. And while he does make it to King of Games, and while he does technically compete in one of those tournaments, it just wasn't even remotely possible. Right? And that's, to me, is the biggest downside. Is that he just genuinely couldn't accomplish it. And like, you know, hey, there's 8 episodes. I believe each episode, like, this took, what, a year to do?
Welcome to Duel Links from Scratch. This is a brand new experiment I'm doing to see just how far towards a meta
This
deck
starts
we can
in
get from
June
being entirely free to play, also with a time
2020
limit of around
and
1 hour
ends
game time per
in,
day.
does it
Now,
end in
not everyone is
September of that same year?
Welcome to Duel Links from Scratch. This is a brand new experiment I'm doing to see just how far towards a meta deck
Yes,
you can
okay.
get from being
So
entirely free to
it only takes a couple of months, to be fair. But it takes, what, 3 months to obtain kind of most of a meta deck. Now, mind you, that's 3 months he is building one deck. And in that time, I can actually show you, because we can go to the tier list. We can go to history, because they have this feature, because it's very cool. We can type in Dark Magician. We can type in Dark Magician. We can scroll to 2020. And we can see, when does he start? He starts in June. We can see already, in June, the deck is tier 3. In September, it goes out of... it no longer meta. Now, granted, previously, it was a tier 1 deck. You know, a couple of months ago, it was a tier 1 deck. But the simple fact of the matter is, by the time he builds the deck, it's no longer top tier. So he spends all of this time building a deck, free to play, building up to this deck, trying to obtain it, finally gets a deck that gets him to King of Games, still isn't optimized. It's good, but it's not optimized, it's not perfect, it doesn't have everything that it needs to fully play the game, and then it falls out of the metagame, and is no longer top tier. Do you understand how frustrating that is? I had the exact same... Yeah, I had a very similar experience with Lyrilisk. At the very least, no, like, that is pretty much exactly what happened. And with Lyrilisk, I missed a specific event, and then I couldn't play the deck because I didn't have the necessary character to unlock all of the cards. So I just, like, couldn't play the deck for, like, months because it wasn't out, because of time exclusivity. And I love Lyrilisk, just couldn't get it, right? Because I just, like, showed up too late. Man, dueling sucks balls. Yeah. Yeah. Duel Links, am I right? What a good game. What a great game. Oh. Oh, cool. Oh, cool. We can watch the Farfa reacting to people reacting to Farfa video. Hip hip hooray. I want to see, I do want to see what people actually
Welcome back to another
have to say about
reaction of a reaction of a reaction of a reaction of a reaction. It's not troll, by the way.
Reactionception. Woo. Why am I here?
I stupidly decided to activate a card effect. You see, Chainlink 1, Farfa posted a Duel Links video, the sad decline of Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. And then Chainlink 2, Loom decided to react to me talking about my Duel Links video. Chainlink 3, TB Army, made a 40-minute reaction to the Loom react of the reaction to me.
Who the fuck is TB Army?
Which then prompted Chainlink 4, Mechlord, over here to jump in
Ah!
and react to TB Army.
The mirror! Shadowverse Worlds Beyond! Shadowverse players are furious. Hey, shout out to Shadowverse being just the fucking worst.
Loom reacting to me, which then prompted Chainlink 5...
It's crazy how bad Shadowverse
6K
is.
to react to Mechlord, to TB Army, to Loom, to me. So now I'm going to complete that cycle and activate counter, and react to
And now I'm here! Why am I here? Why the fuck am I here?
I do just want to say real quick.
Let's be honest. Why am I here? Because
the best part of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Community. Master Duel is like the complete
I don't know. I can figure out what to do today.
like dribblies, like just absolute vegetation. The stupidest people you'll ever meet are like Master Duel players, one-trick Master Duel players.
True.
Generally just the absolute cesspool of Yu-Gi-Oh!
What? Oh, of Yu-Gi-Oh! He did say of Yu-Gi-Oh!
But that's because there's just so many of them, right? Like the majority of the community online, at least anyway, feels like mostly Master Duel players. And you guys know how intelligent, you know, the general population of the internet is. The second stupidest player, well, they're not stupid. Generally, TCG players are actually very smart. But the TCG players are the most pompous, annoying, smug bastards you'll ever come across in your life. TCG players,
I hate that Farfa's right here. You are the much-needed freebie POV. I'm glad. I don't like agreeing with Farfa very often. But sometimes he does spit. Sometimes he is correct. Especially Stream Farfa. Stream Farfa is on another level. But I will say, TCG players are very elitist. They are very elitist. Unless you are going specifically to a casual style event, anyone who has picked up, like, Ryzeal, or, like, I guess now, like, Vanquish Soul Canine or something like that, they are going to look at you as someone who doesn't consistently show up to your games like you are the scum of the earth. Like you are nothing. It genuinely is one of the reasons I don't consistently play the TCG. One of the myriad of reasons, but one of them nonetheless. So, hey, if you're consistently going to your locals and you go to regionals, you play the TCG in paper, don't look at people like that. That's mean. Be nice. Be kind to people. You don't have to, like, go up and be like, hey, how's it going? Just don't look at them like they're piss. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
See themselves.
Also, I said, sorry, I gotta say this. I said, one time I was at a local, someone asked me what my favorite movie of all time was, and I said fucking Speed Racer. It's currently on my wall back there. I fucking love Speed Racer. Speed Racer, favorite movie of all time. If you disagree, that's fine. The guy looked at me like I was insane. Have you watched that movie? Fucking watch that movie again. That movie's insane. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Please watch Speed Racer. Thank you.
The sort of like protectorate, traditionalist kind of political wing of the Yu-Gi-Oh spectrum. They're very arrogant. They're extremely biased. They can't really hold discussions outside of W and L. And they sort of just look at everything through the lens of them being the original.
Watched it with friends recently. It is good. The amount of like it's such a star-studded cast, and they're all giving it their all. Oh, it's so good, and it's so fucking anime. It's anyway. That's all. I can't get into it.
And then there's the Duel Links community.
I will spend way too long.
I love the Duel Links community. I have played Duel Links, dabbled in it, in and out for multiple different like kind of years or like parts of the timeline, like a little bit of 2018, 19, 21, and then I think even like a year ago, and then this time I tried it as well. I have never ever in my life experienced any sort of toxicity, any sort of.
No, Farfa's so fucking right, dude. The Duel Links community was sick. Outside of DK's channel specifically, the Duel Links community itself was great. How many people actually watched the original Speed Racer anime in that shitty dub? No. I just watched
genuine
the movie.
like hatred or just bitching or anything from Duel Links players. It's actually incredible. They are very, very nice. They're small, and the thing is, they're probably just happy to be here. That's the thing, right? Because like 4 people play this game. 2 of them are like Chinese businessmen that essentially just pay for Konami, like to keep the game afloat from how hard they wail. So honestly, I think Duel Links players, they're just.
That being said, Mechalord doesn't count. That is
here.
true. Mechalord
And
doesn't
they're
count.
great,
I saw
honestly.
that in chat.
So let's see what they've got to say. Where's Chainlink 6? There it is. All right. What? So this is Team 6K, who reacted to Mechlord, who's reacting to TB Army here, who's reacting to Lim. So, you know, if you like Duel Links, all 4 of you, please make sure you subscribe to them, okay? Let's get a +4 for each of their channels. Comes to your mind when you think about Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links.
So first things first, if you've not yet seen Farfa's video on the subject, go ahead and watch it now.
Farfa made a brand new video about the decline of Duel
Chainlink
Links.
3?
Yeah, right, it's me, Mechlord. I just
Chainlink
wanted
4?
to share my opinion.
So, Farfa dropped basically a review of Duel Links as it is today. It tackled a
Wait, is this guy a VTuber?
You can't call him a
real? Is this an actual
VTuber. He's in
mouse? Why is it
play. Wait, maybe.
Was he a
Wait, maybe.
VTuber? Like,
He's not virtual.
oh, is that his actual skull? Shit, this goes hard. Wait, so this is an actual skeleton? Okay, nice. No.
I
What I
remember
was
the
talking
public
about from
chat
what I
room.
could gather
I was
from
in
it,
on
the primary
Duel Links.
conclusions were about Duel Links gameplay and Duel Links
there?
monetization and card collection as a whole. Farfa's
Uh,
overall conclusion is this: was that the
why
gameplay
didn't
of
we-
Speed Duel, at least since that's what he's playing, was actually good. It is Yu-Gi-Oh.
Wait, but like the teeth like are actually moving. So I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm so fascinated by this, but like,
They're not actually moving.
is this one of those like super like hyper realistic skull masks or something? Because that's kind of that's kind of crazy. Is he actually dead?
It's the Baker.
I mean, I guess that's what happens when you play so much Duel Links.
Gameplay at the end of the day. That's the game he likes playing, and that's what
It's
Duel
the
Links
white!
is, an alternate format of Yu-Gi-Oh. And he liked what skills did for the game. He also
WIGHT,
said
by the
that
way.
monetization was nearly good, but ended up being really, really bad. And to make it worse, there are
He's
free
actually
cards
dead,
that are
sure.
difficult to get, but really important for starting to play your deck optimally. He did bring up content creators in the game's past, and while there was some inaccuracy to what he was saying, it wasn't really important to the discussion he was having on the game itself. Well,
Thank you. I got actually so hard on this part, man. Yeah, like okay, I got like the YouTuber like audience part wrong. Who cares, right? It's not that important. I'm talking about the gameplay and my journey playing the deck. You know what I'm saying?
at least not as much as some of the reactors thought. The
It's
Duel
an
Links
actual
community had a
skeleton who
pretty
speaks
mixed
by
review on
clacking
this,
his
'cause, like,
bones together
as a
to
guy who
mimic
doesn't
vocal
play Duel
cords.
Links, he was out
That's
of line.
impressive.
He was right. Duel Links gameplay is actually good, but card collection is really damn hard. The best
So what's like been like the
Duel Links gameplay being good is subjective, right? I like obviously Duel Links players are going to be like, nah, the game's good. I kind of disagree. I think every once in a while there's like a fairly decent meta game that has like some fun decks, right? Like when Orcus was meta, when Unchained was meta, when Noble Knights were meta. That was so long ago though. There are metas that I've found to be like some pretty fun, to have like pretty fun games, but for the most part like it is just worse Master Duel. So I wouldn't necessarily say that there's like a reason to play it. But I guess, yeah, I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is fun, therefore the Speed Duel is technically fun by association.
general discourse surrounding my video? Because I don't know where I would even see it. Is it like our Duel Links? I go there like once or twice a year for like, you know, the gifted sub meme review sellout. That's about it. Like where do people talk about? Like I don't know, what's been the general sentiment? I have no idea. You forgot Guns Blazing? Guns Blazing is my favorite lore YouTuber. I don't know if I would call him a Duel Links tuber, you know what I'm saying? Do not go to the subreddit. Oh, I guess we'll have to go check it out after this.
Do not go to the subreddit.
The
yeah.
Duel Links Go
I mean,
format Discord.
Everyone would say that about any subreddit, right?
It's crazy to me that Duel Links hasn't done legacy formats, by the way. That just feels like that could be sick content. Anyway.
They have. That is a thing they've done. Kind of. To an extent. They technically did that. There are events and
videos on this channel aren't the videos telling you how to play decks. They're the ones telling you how to most efficiently get the cards you need. I feel like that says something even with a small channel like ours. Loom was the
Wait, it
first
did?
to respond to this.
Yeah,
And
I
since
guess
he's
I
an
missed out.
actual Duel Links player, people would be more willing to accept the same message from him, and that's exactly what happened. Loom actually said the same thing as Farfa. It gave even more context just showing how much better Duel Links gameplay was than Farfa got to see, since Farfa was playing a deck that's rogue at best, and if he
Okay, saying something is better is entirely subjective. And I don't think that's what matters here. Because genuinely speaking, whether you enjoy the Duel Links gameplay or whether you don't, oftentimes is not the deciding factor on whether or not to play the game and whether or not the game is good or not. Right? I have continued to play the game inconsistently since Master Duel's release. And every time I go back, what frustrates me most is not gameplay, but actually trying to play a deck. Because yes, if I could play an optimized deck, the game's not terrible. It's not my most favorite, but it's not terrible. And it's never really been terrible in terms of gameplay. But so many other things surrounding the gameplay itself is incredibly terrible. And even with that, the gameplay itself is not exactly fun. When the opponent activates a skill, that generates them 9 cards, and you don't. That's just frustrating. When my opponent goes, cool, activate skill, and then 7 cards pop up in their grave, and I've done nothing, and I have no skill that does that, it's frustrating. It's not rewarding. It's not a good experience for most people. No one's gonna look at that and be like, wow, what a fun game. I'm so glad my opponent started with 7 more cards than me. Anyway, so, yeah, anyway, let's move on.
Did you really just call Adamancipator with Block Dragon and 20 cards and all the tuners at 3 rogue at best?
Yes. I hate to say it, Farfa. Yeah. The hell are you making in that deck? What does that deck do? What's the payoff? Especially when I can just nuke the field at quick effect speed. With my fucking Despia Dark Lord deck. Smile. Good luck, bud.
I don't know if I like this anymore, man. Do I gotta prove them wrong? How do I enter like the highest competition of Duel Links? Like, how do I actually prove these people wrong? You just gonna take that, bro? I can't, dude.
Casey Cup? Play the fucking
Advanced
Casey
Players
Cup?
actually
I don't
do
know.
Dude,
You
can't say that.
participate in a...
What do I need to do? How do I prove these people? You need to win games. I didn't drop a single game. To be fair, you know, I started in bronze, but you know.
Yeah.
What do I gotta do to prove these people wrong?
Savage Baron and Apple are the problem.
There's no way. No one can call Block Dragon at Emancipator bad. There's no shot. Come on.
Had played the deck with a
Alright,
skill, you can
Farfa,
see how
cool.
much more unique the gameplay is. He also gave insight into the struggles of card collection that Farfa didn't get to see. Despite Farfa's video being super well researched, a Duel Links player with the experience of Loom is naturally going to have just way more insight. This was perfectly well and good. Then my guy Tariq at TB Army reacted to the reaction. He discussed what he believes Loom got right and wrong. Like when Farfa talked about content creators, Loom defended the YouTube scene, showing how big it was with multiple creators back in the day. Man, rest in peace, Guns Blazing, my hero. I know you aren't dead, but...
I mean... Were there really other Western content creators for Duel Links? I don't count. I had like 1,000 subs. Genuinely speaking, like, there weren't really many other content creators. There were a few, but outside of Decade specifically, there wasn't really a Duel Links community. There were a few scattered additional channels that were kind of almost supplementary channels, but it was basically just Decade. Yes, technically, again, other people did exist, but more specifically in the Western audience, there weren't really many. And I think that was what. What's up, Master Mello? How's it going?
He kind of defended Farfa in response, saying that
we are currently reacting to reaction to a reaction to a... We are reacting to a reaction of a reaction of a reaction of a reaction of a Duel Links video. No, wait,
really
of a reaction
Farfa's
of a Duel
point
Links
to
video.
say that there
I've
wasn't
got one.
content creators, just that there wasn't really the kind of impact that Decade had. Anyway,
I'm doing
Farfa
alright.
showed down.
Just to clarify, the Duel Links like content creator thing is like, listen, I guess, you know, obviously, like I said, I was wrong about the YouTube scene and stuff, but I was primarily a Twitch streamer at the time, and I explicitly said in the video it's an anecdotal take, right? Having been playing Yu-Gi-Oh competitively since 2014, at that point, it was about 2018-19. My personal experience that I had met was like literally like less than 10 people.
Yep, pretty
single
much.
digit numbers, personal friends,
That
and
was my
experiences
day.
with people in the community that I had met
Fine.
who had even tried Duel Links, let alone stuck with it. Like Beaky, Herman, Skrelp, Samuel, Reggie. These are the only people I know on a personal level that have played Duel Links for more than
Yeah, there weren't many. Duel Links was such a different game as well that a lot of TCG players ended up not really playing or participating in Duel Links. Like, a good example of this is, like, Simo never really made content on Duel Links. You know, Team APS never really made content on Duel Links. Like, a bunch of these channels that were already well established in the TCG sphere never really made content on Duel Links because it just didn't really make sense. They were just, like, an entirely different subset of games. It's the same thing with, like, the difference between Speed Duel Links and Rush Duel Links, which are basically two entirely separate games.
Like, do you know what I mean? So again, it wasn't supposed to be like evidence. It wasn't supposed to be like a overarching take.
What question? What question?
Right? I very deliberately said this is a personal anecdote. So yeah, you know, just
Also
wanted to
both
clarify.
Master Duel and Duel Links, showing that there was still interest in
Samuel
playing Duel Links, half as much as Master Duel. We interpreted this as far as saying that there was that many people playing Duel Links, but it's not that many people are playing Master Duel either. This point falls a little flat to me. Obviously, the amount of downloads isn't going to translate into concurrent players, so that's not just the case for Duel Links. If Master Duel has 200k downloads, and Duel Links has 100k, that doesn't mean either of them are going to have that many people playing it on that day. You can't just use that logic for Duel Links. It applies to Master Duel too. Loom put forth the stat that only like 12% of people actually playing it, that there was still interest in playing Duel Links, half as much as Master Duel. Loom interpreted this as far as saying that there was that many people playing Duel Links, but it's not that many people are playing Master Duel either. This point falls a little flat to me. Obviously, the amount of downloads isn't going to translate into concurrent players, so that's not just the case for Duel Links. If Master Duel has 200k downloads and Duel Links has 100k, that doesn't mean either of them are going to have that many people playing it on that day. But you can't just use that logic for Duel Links. It applies to Master Duel too. Loom put forth the stat that only like 12% of people actually played after downloading it. I don't know what the factors are, but he didn't.
Yeah, Duel Links is also a game that you would likely play significantly more as like a casual experience, like from day to day, whereas Master Duel is probably something you would log in and play for longer periods of time, just due to the nature of like the way that those games worked. Maybe not. Maybe you would just log in for like 2 seconds on Master Duel. Maybe you wouldn't log in. But also, the big thing is that Duel Links is going to have probably a significantly higher player base on mobile that are playing more casually than something like Master Duel, where Master Duel is likely to have a lot more people on PC who are less casual and more focused on actually playing Master Duel. What is the argument? Argument is Duel Links is not great. The argument that Farfa made is that Duel Links is hard to play, but is fun when you get to actually play the game. As in, like, getting to play an optimized deck in ranked or in an event or something like that. But all of that other stuff, all of the grinding, all of the pay to win, all of that stuff is bad. More or less. Very oversimplified.
It was strange. It was like Loom was trying to advocate for Duel Links actually performing worse than it actually is. You know, only 12% of the people that download Duel Links actually play Duel Links. It's like, oh, okay, well, damn. I guess the game is dead.
Provide a stat like that for any other games, let alone Master Duel. For all we know, only 12% of people who downloaded Master Duel actually played, which would lead Duel Links back to being half as played as Master Duel. But we don't know those stats, so there isn't a full picture. Anyway, 12% of 100...
At least when it comes to the app, we do actually know the stats when it comes to players on Steam, so we can very clearly tell, like, hey, here are the Steam numbers for these two things, because those are active players who are consistently playing the game, or at the very least who have played in that time frame, right? So like if you go to Steam charts, you can see like, oh hey, Master Duel has this many players, Duel Links has this many players, and that is like actual active players, not just people who have downloaded it, but people who are playing the game.
This is really weird, by the way, but like, why is there no like numbers on this stuff? You would think this thing would be kind of just easily scrapable from like the Play Store or something. Like surely like Google and iOS like have the stats for this stuff. Like maybe they just don't make them public, or maybe it's only private to the developers. But you would think like something like this should be publicly available information, because it's like just on the Play Store, right? I don't know. Okay,
there's still 12,000 new players though, and I don't see how somebody could see that as a bad thing. That's a really good stat of new players for a game this old. Loom defends skills, saying that broken skills.
Good to see how many people are actually playing games.
The army pushes back against this. Loom gives.
Because you never all see all those like garbage like mobile games and stuff that are like, wow, we have 100 million downloads, and it's like Raid Shadow Legends being downloaded by the same like 50 guys over and over to restart their accounts and stuff like that.
Dude. Raid Shadow Legends. That's all.
Like you don't actually know what that means, you know. You want to turn on in-game music? If you know how to split your audio track, Quantal, and you're smart enough to do that, go ahead. If not, it's not a big deal.
Examples.
As long as your microphone and face is visible, that's the most important thing. Microphone has to be
these
clear on the
fewer
track.
and further between, so they aren't representative of the entire game back then. To be honest, I feel like this isn't exactly true, because while most deck-specific skills weren't broken, skills in general we have always included broken ones. Sealed Tombs has been mentioned a few times in these videos.
Define broken, because Sealed Tombs to me was never broken. It was good against specific decks, but it was never something that genuinely fundamentally broke the game. It wasn't until probably Onomats, right? That, like, we actually got a skill that genuinely fundamentally broke the game. Probably Destiny Draw, right? Like, Destiny Draw was probably the one. Never mind, yeah. Destiny Draw was, like, always busted. And did break the game, because it was like, cool, pick up your deck, grab a card, play from there. But in regards to... The difference is that Sealed Tombs would say, hey, don't use the grave for a turn. Modern skills play the deck for you. That is like a massive difference in regards to power level. And it's a massive difference in the way that the game is played. Because while Sealed Tombs was something that you could do to potentially cut off your opponent from playing the game, it also could do absolutely nothing, right? Whereas nowadays, with a lot of skills, my biggest gripe with most of these skills is that they are skills that say, you have to build your deck this way. There's no creativity. There's no way that you can change this. You must build your deck with these parameters. You have to only play these cards. This is what we want you to play in order to gain these very broken effects. And it makes the deck building process so heavily restricted. You can't change that. You just have to play in like a very specific way, because if you don't get these very, very powerful effects. Which sucks.
As if it's some niche little skill you could play. Dude, the fact that this skill is still legal at all is only because every other deck has its own skill now. I could make the argument that Sealed Tombs is the most broken skill of all time. And if any deck came out that didn't need a skill,
Okay, you'd be blatantly wrong, but sure.
Like, to play this, it would immediately impact the meta in a massive way. Turning off the opponent's graveyard for free is not just a silly little bonus that I feel like it's being made out to be. It's fucking broken. And it's worked multiple formats around it. I was a competitive duelist during the formats that this skill was active. I ain't trying to see this narrative.
really
Skills
hates
are
the
only
graveyard.
broken recently.
I guess
Bloom
lots of
brought up
graveyard.
an amazing point that in
Yeah, sure, bud.
Master
Silly little skill. I mean, listen, the whole point about the skill, like, Loom, I think, definitely got this wrong. And I don't actually have that much knowledge historically. But one of the best examples was he brought up, like, Cyber Style, and how it's like, oh, you know, dueling skills have always been, like, deck-changing, broken things that make your deck go from doing X into doing a completely different turn 1 play, etc. compared to TCG. It's like, my point about that wasn't, like, that they haven't existed. It's that they are not as prevalent as they were, right? Like, I said with Baby Raccoons, for example. Last time I cogged in Duel Links was a couple years ago with Baby Raccoons, and the deck's skill was that it increased your monster's attack by 100. That's it. The reason for that was that Sandayu copies your opponent's monster attacks. So when you copy them, you clone their tokens, and then you make a token with 100 attack over so that it gets over their monster.
Broken from the
Now,
start, and
it's
not that
really
skills
synergistic
play
in the
game
deck,
for you now.
but increasing your monster's attack with ties...
Even Farfa is getting this a bit skewed, because yeah, it's not that the skills are broken, because skills have always been the selling point of the game, and they've always been relative in power. The problem is that the game now not incentivizes you. It basically plays itself by clicking the yellow button. You click the skill button, and it tells you what to do. And not only that, but it also tells you how to build your deck. So the game is literally played around entirely how the skill is supposed to be played. And not necessarily around anything else, or any, like... Anyway,
that buying for 100 is, like... It's not, like, broken. It's not, like... I mean, come on, you read, like, the TG skill, and it's, like, it's build a deck. Literally, it's a build a game. The TG skill, some of the Synchron skills, you are just, like, it's like Reddit fanfiction. You're just making up, like, shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, clearly there's a difference between 100 attack and that. And those skills, right? And those skills, the latter, are very much...
Okay, someone is currently mentioning Beatdown. Does anyone actually remember OG Beatdown? Where you could use it every turn? And so what you would do is, like, you would play with Dark Lord. Basically, all of your guys could just walk over any other things in combat. It was hilarious.
A huge part of modern Duel Links, from what I can tell.
Newly supported decks are often just pack filler, but more often than not, the majority, if not all of the decks from a new Duel Links box are playable at a rogue level at least right away. He also explains how the perfect consistency of skills allows for guaranteed gameplay. You are so much less likely to lose just because you bricked or win just because
pretty cool about Duel Links.
you
I
are
never thought
forced
about
to
it that
have a
way.
legitimate game of
Like, you just
Yu-Gi-Oh!
basically
no matter
never
what,
brick
because of
with
modern
these
skill design, and I think that's fucking awesome. Loom goes a lot more in depth about
Then maybe
what
that's
makes
bad in the same
card
ways, though, because
collection
every
difficult
duel's the
as hell in Duel Links,
same.
and that aspect of the game is something literally everyone agrees with. There are things you can point out to say that you like about card collection in Duel Links, but on the whole,
What is there to say that you like about card collection? Like, what is...
I do actually like a lot of the events and stuff like that allow you to gain these cards, but that being said, that doesn't mean that I like the way that these cards are tied specifically to like these stupid events. That's all. I guess, like, what about card collection is fun? No, you're right, it all sucks ass. It all sucks ass. When you actually break it down to actually being a card collector and trying to collect these cards, it
One
does
positive
suck.
about card collecting in Duel Links.
It sucks. Yeah,
Like, name one positive. I do quite like the guaranteed stuff. That's nice, right? Like, you spend, like, literally, like, $1.50 and you get guaranteed super in, like, you know, 5 packs or something. That's actually kind of cool. The problem is you can't do anything with the guaranteed super other than hope it's the one you wanted.
well, it is very difficult, way more difficult than any other card game. Possibly on the
$100
level
per
of
MST.
entry into competitive
Yeah,
Pokemon
recommend.
with how much grinding you gotta do. And even Pokemon is releasing a new way of overcoming that. But something really important has been discussed throughout all of these videos, and that's the positive aspects of this game. Barfa once said that he doesn't care if Duel Links is the most amazing gameplay experience ever. It's too expensive, so he's not gonna play. And that's the thing. The gameplay is the most amazing experience
I had fun
ever,
with
but
it.
it's
Wrong answer. The gameplay's, it's again, it's subjective, but it's just Master Duel Lite. If it were unique in some capacity, there would be an incentive to actually play the game, but there's not. It's almost the same as Master Duel, mostly due to the fact that the skills allow you to more or less accomplish the same thing, and on the same boards, etc. So yeah.
Too expensive.
I was
The only
stomping
person so
children
far
in
to
bronze,
disagree with
but
is Mechlord.
it was-
Of course,
it was-
everyone's favorite complaining Frenchman. Who
Whoa.
would have thought that the guy
Did I just walk in on some drama?
He's French.
Wait, why are we? Does he just hate French people? What's going on?
who built an audience off of not liking Duel Links doesn't like Duel Links? First of all, I just want to get this out of the way. I don't like that Mechlord wanted to contribute to the meme that TB Army started by reacting to a reaction, but didn't want to include TB Army anywhere in the thumbnail or title. I don't know, man. That's kind of scummy to me. Even
What do you mean? He's right. His thumbnail is right there.
if it wasn't intentional, he covered his face with words, which is hilarious, but he
Loom's face is covered with words.
at least had him in the description, so I shouldn't be too bad. Mechlord didn't script his video.
I think you guys ever like go to your friend's house or something?
Feather
when you
Binds
were
was
kids?
relevant when it
And,
came
like,
out, stacking
they're-
up
the
to
mom and dad,
300
like, you can hear them
across
yelling at each
3
other in the other room,
monsters
and
mattered
you're just
in
sitting
a
there kinda
format
just
with
like-
Mirror Wall and Golden Apples.
Like I feel like that's what I've walked into just now.
Yeah.
Like these two clearly seem to have like I'm just sitting here like so getting nice weather here.
He says as much in his video, and he's mainly focusing on the two main points of the whole thing: the card collection and the gameplay.
Imagine being
of course,
subscribed
like
to
everyone
that.
else, he agrees that the card collection is in a bad place and always has been, but unlike everyone else, he doesn't like the gameplay at all. He said in one of his more recent videos that he doesn't like modern Yu-Gi-Oh gameplay in general, so it makes perfect sense to me that he wouldn't like Duel Links gameplay, because that's exactly what it is. He sees the value in the idea of skills giving consistency and extra benefits going second, but he doesn't like modern skill design in general. It's okay for him to not like modern Yu-Gi-Oh and modern skills, and he does say that it's okay for other people to like modern Yu-Gi-Oh and modern skills, but something that has always irked me is that while he is willing to admit that his perspective and others may differ,
Dude, can I just step out the room at this point or something? Like this is not this. He has a bone to fucking pick, dude. Like, just I don't want anything to do with it. He has an issue here.
on the gameplay experience. He speaks on the gameplay experience as if it's an objective thing. Like Duel Links skills are objectively badly designed, and Duel Links gameplay is objectively bad.
Pick a
There's
side
this sort of
centrist.
aura-
Oh, dude, you think I'm gonna be
Yeah,
on the
that
side
is
of him?
technically subjective, but I will say I do think that dueling skills are objectively bad. And the reason I will say this is because he has all the bones, true. He definitely has a bone to pick. Thank you. Well done, Farfa, in an unintentional joke. The reason I will say that like the dueling skills are objectively bad is because while yes they do provide like some interesting ideas, they are so restrictive to specifically doing one thing and forcing you to deck build and plan around doing said one thing. And most of the time it ends up removing creativity from the game, which I think is objectively bad. Because now you can't be nearly as creative because you have to build your deck in that specific way. Right? Which, like, I wouldn't mind the skills if they weren't so heavily restrictive. Specifically with deck building. Because, like, at that point, then yes, it is just, like, subjective. It's like, hey, do you like the consistency or do you not, right? But for me, it's less the consistency and it's more the, you have to play monsters between these levels and these levels. You have to play this specific thing. You can't special summon from the extra deck except for, you know, etc., etc. Which is annoying.
I'm not gonna finish the sentence. Listen, if you have a skeleton mask like this, you're probably on the correct side of history.
But if you like these things, you have bad taste. I'm not saying this is his perspective. This is just the vibe I get. Gameplay can't be objectively bad because it's gameplay. And as it turns out, people do like Duel Links gameplay. Even Farfa, who had to go through hoops just to get started, enjoyed the gameplay. New people who come to the game and tell me their experience after
Crazy.
watching my new player guide tell me they love the gameplay. I'm not saying everyone has to love Duel Links, but if you don't like it, that is an inherently subjective stance. I think Mechlord is unfortunately the target of a lot of the community's ire at the moment because for the last year, there has been so much negative
It's because he's shit at memeing.
discourse about the game that it's become fucking exhausting. People who are still playing the game still enjoy it, and if they
What's
don't,
wrong with
either
Duel Links
quit
right now?
or are on their way to quitting. But that's not
Everything is wrong with Duel Links. What do you mean? You made a video about what was wrong with Duel Links. What are you talking about? We are reacting to videos complaining about you making a video about Duel Links being bad. What do you mean, Farfa? What do you mean what's wrong with it? You... It's fine.
Let's hold on. Let me try and have a little guess here.
He used... I'm sorry. What the fuck?
Hold on. Let me try and have a little guess here.
Dr. Go?
I see a Shadol on the cover. Wait, there's no window. Oh, well, like the game's
down.
fine. There's no window. So what's the problem?
Scroll down.
XDD? What do you mean XDD? What do you mean clueless? No, don't say clueless. no, hold on. What do you mean clueless? No, there's no window. What do you mean? There's absolutely no problems with this. This is just a solid, skillful mirror, right? Reign of Shadow. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Why is it 100 words? So many words.
That's
I'm
the
like-
problem!
Okay.
We all figured it out!
always just say
That!
second
Right
best ones
there!
to do
What the hell is this? What is this skill? At the beginning of the duel, add 6 Shadal monsters with different names from your extra deck to your extra deck, and send 3 random Shadal normal traps from your deck to the grave. Sorry, what? Excuse me, what? During all of your turns, you get a normal or special summon monsters with a level, except for Shadal monsters and Spellcaster monsters. Do you see what I mean? Hey, guess what? Does your monster have a level? You can't summon it. It's not allowed. Creativity, out the window. You can only play these very specific cards.
At the beginning of the duel, add 6 Shadal monsters with
Reveal
different
2
names.
cards in your hand, then add a Shadal card from your deck. Then add 2... Sorry. Reveal 2 Shadal cards from your hand, then add a Shadal card from your deck to your hand. If your opponent controls a monster, you can play 1 Shadal monster from your deck in face-down defense position. Cool. Awesome. We're gonna
Right now.
skip this.
Check how many ultras. There's hardly any. There's like no ultras. You just need Shadal fusion. And I guess like some staples.
Scroll down.
Oh wait, hold on. I'm not looking at a. Wait, hold on. Oh. I mean, it's not that bad, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Like 2 ultra constructs, you can definitely just play 1. And these are just staples, right? Like realistically, you don't need to play this. The extra deck is money locked hard. Is it?
Yes.
I mean,
IP and I believe App Clone are selection packs.
I mean, to be fair, I look. My Macedo brain is looking at supers, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, super, that's like, you know, nothing. But in Duel Links, I guess super is actually kind of a big deal.
Yeah, super
Positive
matter.
video about a deck without also complaining about other decks. Not that this is a bad thing, but it can be a drag. And you're not saying anything new. You've made the same points countless times. People just got tired of it and now are being unfair to you, pinning their feelings onto you as if it's not valid for you to express your feelings. It is very valid, and everyone
How
should
dare
feel
you
free
express
to
your
do so
feelings
without
on the
people
internet.
up to you getting into
We're
those
all told him
romantic
to
shut up
make
player
another
feats.
channel.
This is probably the smallest card game community these days, and you'll probably blow up just by making a new channel.
What have I walked into? This is so awkward. Like, what is
Topic at this point. I have more to say about what makes Duel Links gameplay
this
amazing.
therapy?
I have more to say about what makes card collection in Duel Links horrible. But before Farfa even
Okay,
drops
we're
a
back
video,
to
I will
Farfa. Hi,
work
hello.
on these videos, and they're going to be pretty long, so stay tuned for the Ultimate Doom post and the Ultimate Hope post. Go subscribe to everyone I'm reacting to in his video.
Okay, I'm not sure if I really reacted to a reaction about the reaction, but you know,
What the fuck? Am I gonna get copy striked for this? Probably.
why is he a PND tuber shield?
Loom reaction to the Farfar video. I thought it was neat too. I watched the TB Army reaction to the Loom reaction to the Farfar video. I thought that's getting a bit out of hand. So here I am reacting for the meme to the TB Army reaction to the Loom reaction to the Farfar video. I'm not gonna waste anyone's time to click on this video, so
Isn't
you'll
Nib a
find
selection box exclusive?
yeah,
probably.
As already
Just
been
waste
said,
each other's
Farfar,
time.
Loom and TB Army. I think the most important stuff is the discussion regarding how dog shit Duel Links are.
Okay. I think at this point we see what's happening. It would be funny to have to listen to MBT's take, but MBT is probably going to say nothing of actual value. Let's be honest with ourselves. To be fair, I didn't really say much of actual value except for the fact that fuck you. Duel Links sucks balls. It's such a shit game. I wish it was better. I wish that they hadn't gone full like Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel with it and had stuck with a lower power format, but they elected not to, and now it feels so horrible to actually sit down and play, and it's always felt horrible to sit down and play, mostly due to monetization, which has always been a massive gripe with me. But alas, let's watch the new Fallen and the Virtuous thing video that came out. This is the TC or the Yu-Gi-Oh! Chronicles or whatever it's called. Let's go shred. Up. My bad. Go back. What is that? I don't need.
精魂が食われている。まさか。やはり教えを汚す危険分子だ。排除せよ。
They still can't get walking with their animation. Sorry, I don't know why I felt like she's just like, yeah, fuck you specifically. Here's my boy! What? Did you do something there, Karos? Hold on, go back. What the fuck did Karos do? He missed! Why is he looking proud? He missed! You could have shot him! Why did you...
やるじゃねえかフェリシット
助けてもらっといて上から目線こっちは派手に暴れとくからナーベルたち頼んだわよ
Where's Nurgle? Where's my boy Nurgle? Tri-Brigade Shurag, the ominous omen. Let's fucking go. Where's your helmets? Where's why are they gone? Isn't Nurgle the navigator type? Bro. Bro's got a fucking Captain America shield. What the fuck? Nah, Shurag doesn't lose that fight. What are you talking about? He's motherfucking Shurag! Why? Hold on. No. Whoa. Go back. Stop. Okay, that is Rugal's guns. It looks... Okay. Okay, the way this was animated made it look like Rugal was getting shot. And I was like, why is he alive? What's happening? What are you doing? It's fine. I will say, at least the fight scenes are well animated. Why is he building Lego?
全員無事か。
ええ、あんたほどやられてないわよ。ナーベルたちだわ。
Bird up!
救出はうまくいったようだな。よし、引くぞ。
あいつらはどうする
？Bro has no context here. He does not know what's happening.
連れて行こう。
She just shows up and is like, hey, what about these guys? They need some help. And Shurei's like, I don't fucking know. Who are these people? I wasn't there. I don't know what's going on. But okay. Who the fuck undressed her? Oh, there are Fergie, probably, right? Yeah, it's fine. Still weird, but probably fine.
はやここだよここ
What? What? Okay.
ちょっとお話ししない聖女さん
You can tell Ecclesia and Fergie took most of the budget. Did you see Shrek? What the fuck are you talking about? Literally, like, every character looks incredible. And also, they're all... Hey, yo! It's my boy! Wait, hold on. Where is he? Show me the boy. There he is! It's him! It's the boy! Nerval is off screening a prisoner of war rescue. Yes, that was established in the previous episode. Where is Sword Soul? Way further down the line. You're telling me Shureg doesn't immediately clap Dogmatic accordingly? This is a really good blend of CGI and 2D animation. Like this fight scene's so sick. Also, apparently Shureg just... That's so sick. God, I love Shureg. He's so cool. He got nerfed. True. Well, that was a good one. Not my favorite. This one was kind of didn't have a lot going for it, but it was cool nonetheless. I think the best one was the first one. Am I wrong? Oh, they had a trailer for it. Oh, I didn't realize. That's funny. Why would you make a trailer for this? It's like 5 seconds. You're gonna show the whole thing in the trailer as opposed to just releasing it. Comedy. Well, it's time to play Yu-Gi-Oh! I know, cringe. I want to play Ashened today in Theme Chronicle. So that's the goal today. So I guess Kit next episode? Probably not. Kit shows up in maybe Kit shows up in the next episode, but I doubt it. Because you'd have to go through all of the Tri-Brigade stuff, and then you'd have to get to the Gold Sea Golconda. Because that's where Kit shows up. Am I wrong? Is Kit showing up? I don't remember exactly where Kit shows up. I'm pretty sure she shows up with the Spriggans. I'm gonna go to the bathroom now. I'll be right back. Infinite and Laura Flora is the strongest saint in Dogmatica history. She is power creep given form. Yeah, but also counterpoint Shureg. Am I wrong? that scare you? Probably not. Next episode would be Oath, where they direct the duo to Golgonda where Kit is. Okay, that's what I figured. I was like, I'm pretty sure Kit's not actually in the camp. I wonder if they'll show Dogmatica Genesis. The implication of child sacrifice to call Quem might be too much. True. And also, counterpoint. If they show literally anything... Do I not have Ashened on this account? I mean, on my one and only... Oops. I'm stupid. Oops. My bad. It's fine. What was I saying? If they have chosen to do the Dogmatica / branded storyline and they elect not to showcase very important characters like Quem and what have you, that'll feel very disrespectful. And also it's the OCG, not the TCG, so they likely will. You know what I mean? Do we have... Yeah, there it is. Yeah, there it is. Let's do this. Let's go copy. Copy. Oh, cool. I can export it to Yu-Gi-Oh! Neuron. Hold on. Can I import a deck from Neuron? That's like not a thing I can do, right? Sure. Copy from linked deck list. Oh, you can. Oh, that's crazy. Also, I can't believe I'm getting wins with Witchcrafter in the event, especially with the game loving to place Vere. Both the matches and the Crafter one in my hand at the same time. It could be playing 2 of her, even though she's a 2 of a 55 card. You're playing 55? You need to have Konami ID? Yeah. Well, you need to link your account to the Konami ID, which is linked to your Neuron app, and then you use the Neuron app. And you, I would imagine, copy? I don't know, I don't have the Neuron app. I need value off reasoning. Fair. Understandable. What was I? Well, I clicked the wrong button. Help! Brain. Even though out of 10 reasonings, the most I've milled is 3 to 4 cards. Isn't that about average? Am I wrong? I could be wrong. They... My bonfire! Oh no! They took my bonfire from me. Wait, I don't have Super Poly either? Wait, how fucked am I? Chat, how unbelievably boned am I? Oh no! Oh no! Shoot. We can play triple tag. What the fuck does triple tag do? It. We can play Ken and Gen and do. Stop asking questions. This deck doesn't do anything anyway. Oh man. I guess we could play like Upstart. Okay, maybe not. I guess like Harpies. And like, no, evenly spanned. We could play Ultimate Slayer. Never mind. Forget I said that. We could play Kurikara. Tributing all face-up monsters on the field that activated their effects this turn in your opponent's monster zone. Question! Very important question. If I activate Vados and I give it to my opponent, can I tribute it for Kurikara? Does anyone know? It doesn't activate on field. Well, okay, so Divacarnate says tribute all monsters, all face-up monsters on the field that activated their effects this turn in your opponent's monster zones. Does that mean it has to activate in the opponent's monster zone, or does that mean that if the opponent, or if the monster activated the effect, if it is in the opponent's monster zone, you could tribute it? Right? It's the first one, right? So like if I go Vados, it's not gonna actually allow me to tribute the monster unless the monster activates on the opponent's side of the field. Yeah? It has to activate on their field. Okay, cool. I'm glad that that is clarified in the card text. Thanks, Konami. Thank you for very clearly stating that. I figured that was the case. I was like, there's no shot that that's the way that that would work, where it's like, oh, if I like activate a card effect to give to my opponent, I can then tribute it for Kurikara. But I was also like, that'd be cool. Kids card game. True. I hadn't thought about that. Truly a kids card game moment. Why am I putting Redoer in my extra deck? What the fuck else am I going to put in the extra deck? Great point. We could play... Smile. Is there like a card that's good that we could play? We could. We can't play Super Poly, so not that. We could play Santa. What does this card say again? We could play Santa Claus and just... That is funny. Now, does that accomplish anything? No, but it is funny. And I do like funny. We could just throw in, like, card destruction. What the fuck does card destruction do? Yeah, good point. We could play... Upstart, I guess. Do I need Ash? No. No, I really don't. So I guess it's like Droll. And sure, a Perulia, I guess. Yeah. Cool. Destrudo for AFD. True. True, I hadn't thought about that. We do have Candle, which gets locked. No, it doesn't. I lied to you. We have synchros we could go into. Is there a synchro monster we could what's a level 8 synchro monster that we could make? Yord. True. White Aura Whale. That requires waters. Forget I said that. Bran. We, fucking Draco Berserker. I don't know. We're never gonna summon this guy. No, doesn't this modulate its level, right? Once per chain, up to thrice per turn. If a monster is sent to the graveyard, you can increase or decrease this card's level. Yeah, so we could, like, modulate it to, like, a 9? What's a 9 we could make? We could play... Blue Eyes. Ravenous Croco Dragon. Or, hear me out, we could just play, Link monsters. Except for the fact that I get locked extremely easily into Pyros. Does that matter? No. Cool, eh? Yeah, Avramax, I guess. Cerberus, Phoenix, Unicorn. They're not fiends, they're pyros, so that doesn't really do anything. Is there a level 4 or a rank 4 guy we could go into? We could make Gallant Granite. Don't ask what he does, but we could. I guess we could use him to, like, search Nib. Would we ever do that? No. Cool. Oh, I should also play Desires, right? The answer to that question is probably. Actually, probably not. Let's be honest. We play a whole bunch of, like, one-offs that we want to see specifically. You know? Let's cut, right, triple attack. If I had a level 1, well, I technically do. Play Silvera and make it a 2 instead? I mean, yeah, I could. I don't know, what synchros are even available that's worth playing that we could realistically, feasibly make? We could make Ravenous Croco Dragon. True. We could make Herald? No. How in the hell would I do that? Yeah, great question. We could make... Is there like a 9 we could go into? Is there a 7? Is there a 10? No, probably not, huh? Alright. I don't know. Is there anything good? Is there anything good this deck can actually make? What pyro monsters that live in the extra deck? Let's find out. What pyro monsters exist? Because we were locked into pyros. Oh, cool. Digusto Phoenix, a card I can totally make. Trust. I have access to 2s. Oh, good. Nothing. Sick. Bow wow, Mark. This locks me into pyros, right? Yep. Yeah. Of course. Why would it not? Ultipelio. Sick. Oh, cool. Nitro Blaster. Sick. Cthulhu. Cthulhu. You know what? Throw in this guy. Am I ever going to make him? No. Cool, anyway. Pyro is a fake type. True. Hadn't thought about that. True. Had not thought about that. Imagine. I also did not know that Gusto was a Pyro type. Am I missing something? Oh, I don't actually own the card. I forgot. I have to craft the card in order to play the card. There we go. Now we can play Ashened. Ashened. Woo! Yay. Don't worry, this deck's crazy. If you don't know what it does, me neither. Imagine War Rock. But worse. And more reliant on the field spell. Somehow. This hand does stuff. Probably. What does this one do? This is the right? Okay, we're gonna normal summon Priestess. Effecto. Imperm. It confuses your opponent. True. I hadn't thought about that. What are we confused about? Like 1000% you're imperming that, right? Like, come on. Come on, bud. We all know what's gonna happen there. You're gonna imperm it. Do you have Ash Blossom as well? Because if you do, I will cry. I will have to legally cry. You do. Oh wait, they don't. Wait, that's crazy. Send a Dark Pyro, then you can add a level 5 or higher. Yeah, and then we add. So I don't have access to the field spell. So. You know what? Sure, so I don't have the field spell, so I don't think our deck accomplishes anything. Okay, so I could, theoretically, fuse into this guy, which doesn't do anything. Okay, cool. This deck's so good, dude. It's so sick. Oh no. Oh no, oh no. Rejection. Sure. Yeah. Uh-huh. Motherfucking field spell! Yeah! Yeah! Field spell! Is that a motherfucking field spell? Get his ass! Is that a motherfucking field spell? Get his ass! There you go. Here's the guy. Let's go! Set it. I saw him add this card off of what? I didn't see him add anything. Test Bear. What does this do? It's an Ashened monster. Or what? Take control, then you make all face monsters lose attack. Sure, yeah, that's fine. Shuffle the Glad Beast from hand? No. Yeah, he saw me add Vados. What else is he gonna do, though? Let's go! Field Spell Destruction! That's crazy! Just play into the field spell matchup. It's that simple. I would love to go first. Not activate the search effect and go -1 at least? I mean... I guess... This hand... Probably does something, right? Like, I think this does something. We're gonna start with extinguishing here. Yeah, we're gonna send the fucking. We already drew this guy, so we don't really need this guy. I guess this guy. Yeah, sure. We don't have Ash. Could have something else. We could fusion summon here. The fuck does that do? Yeah, I don't know, dude. You're telling me. Don't have a hand strap. You don't. Angie. You know, it'd be real nice if you just didn't have anything there. All right, bud. Go. Yay. Yay. Oh, this troll doesn't do anything. Yeah, normal summon Dark Grepher, send the guy. Yep. Sure. Man, imagine if my cards fucking did anything. Yeah. Whoa, crazy! Who would have guessed? Oh, fuck me in the ass. Yeah, you got it. I don't need to sit through this. That's so bullshit. Oh, why? Why does my hands... Oh, brother, if I could just... can I draw the quick play that actually does shit? At least you can pop Babble. Yeah. Hydrogen baby? What are you talking about? This is hydrogen bomb. What the hell am I gonna do there? Stare at my opponent? That's the wrong quick play! What do you mean? Game! Why? That's not the quick... I play one of this fucking card! Why have I seen it every fucking time? This is the quick... I want this quick play! That one! It's the thing that does the thing! I need this one! I hate it here, bud. Motherfucker! Bro Drew! What? Wait, no. Field spell! Chad, we did it! We drew the field spell! Let's go! Playable! It's motherfucking playable! Let's go! Let's go! Battle Shogun. Yup. Oh, I'm so happy, dude. You might unironically get decked out. How? It only counts specials from hand, and I have to shuffle cards back. They literally cannot summon that many times from hand. If it was Fua, I'd be like, sure, that makes a little bit more sense to say that, but this is Perulia, which doesn't do that, and it's not Maxine. It's fine. Out comes Shien, in the wrong zone. Uh-huh. Like, how many more times could they possibly special summon from hand? Maybe like 5? Yeah, we'll impulses. Okay. The fuck is this guy doing? Oh, right. Never mind. Okay. At least they know they don't have to worry about Nib. Why is this the guy that we added to our hand? You have a rank 5 in this deck? No. Huh? Huh? Hey? What do you mean by that? I kind of want to go Pot of X-Rev, but I actually also don't. Because I don't really care. Bonfire! Bonfire! Add... No, come back! Wait, no, let me play Ashened! Please, no, let me play Ashened! I just want to play my bad deck! No! He could... Doesn't he just add, like, Shien there? Like, the main deck Shien, and then special summon it, and then, like, I can only activate one spell, and then I'm, like, fucked? Yeah? One day, Master Duel will add a +2/5 counter feature, and you don't have to click for each counter. One day. Yeah, true. The loner is not on Shien? It is. That's why I know that they could do that, because that's what people have been doing. Just don't be 6 AM. Just don't be the 6 Samurai, motherfucker. It's 6 AM. Hey, at least I have Vados this time. No! Oh, no. Why? Guy! Sure. Just draw the 1 of? It's a 3 of. What are you talking about? Here you go. Here's a fool loss. Ah! Loser. Scoop it up. Imagine not drawing Ash Blossom there. Cringe. Shien! Or, Battle Shogun. Why are you in my hand? Why am I playing you? Because what the fuck else am I gonna play? True! Hadn't thought about that. I love pitching double assault here. That's a genius idea. What the fuck are you doing? They limited Dojo in this event? Oh, they limited Gateway. Really? Oh. I just assumed it was at 3, because every opponent has drawn it. Okay, sure, never mind. Never mind. Well, yeah, I know Dojo's a different card. I'm pretty sure they've all drawn this. I could have sworn this was at 3. In the loner. Is that at 3 in the loner, but 1 if you're not playing the loner? They've done that before. No? Okay. Cool, so all of my opponents are just drawing the one-ups? Cool. Cool. That makes me feel way worse. Ashen's legal? No. Yes. That being said, are we surprised? The Elbow Destructor. Pot of Extrav is not real. It can't hurt you. Chien! Good. Son of a bitch, that card sucks ass! It's fine. Do we think Konami remembered Ashened existed? Yes, I do. I'm sure someone at Konami remembered Ashen's existence. It may not have been Konami Japan, but someone there. Maybe on like the TCG side. Maybe they remember Ashen. That's why it's, you know, legal. Arcanist. Yeah. Oh yeah, I saw the support for Ashened. It is not actually support for Ashened. I don't know who's telling you it's support for Ashened. It's not. Support for Ashened would have been like a way to get a field spell. That's like a pyro type. That would have been support. Or like an extra dark pyro type searcher or something like that. Because at the moment, the card that is quote unquote Ashen support is like actively bad to play in Ashen. Because it's like, oh, you can pop your field spell. And it's like, yeah, but I want to pop the field spell with fucking Vados. Not some other card. Please, why would you give me a card that is actively detrimental to my own game plan? Chaotic Elements is a better Ashened card than the actual support? Huh? I don't think you know what Ashen does. Oh, not the Pyro? Oh, there were other cards? Since when? What cards? What cards are you talking about? What cards are you talking about? We're making Shogun 2, Electric Boogaloo. They got a fusion or a fusion spell? Oh, cool. Vados too. Uh-huh. Fine. No, I don't want to play that game. No, it's totally fine. Hey, this hand's... Anyway. Yeah, sure, bud. 6am users are the worst 6am pilots? True. True. For sure. Of course. Yep, go. The fuck does this accomplish, by the way? Make Camellia, I guess? Wait, you need a dark. No, this doesn't make Camellia. It makes... fucking nothing, because they're stupid. Yep. No, it does. What the fuck? Oh, no, I just read this card wrong. Oh, it's Azalea that requires the lights and darks. Yeah. Ingage! Whoop. Kagari. Sam plays like ass on camera? Oh, I'm well aware. Activate the wrong artwork for engage. I love that they always use all the alt arts, including the worst alt art you've ever seen in your entire life. Do you know what's funny? Vados. Do you know what's really funny? Vados. Vados just entirely invalidates the rest of their fucking deck. I go Awakening on Vados. I give them a field spell. I go Vados, pop field spell, give them Vados, and then it turns off everything. Oh, good! Good game. God, I love this deck. It's so bad, dude. Here you go. Here's a field spell. Add. Gee, I wonder what I'm gonna add here. We're gonna add a Vados. Here you go. Here's a guy. Smart. We want this one. We'll set it. Yeet. Yeet. Do you have like an actual imperm here? Oh, that's crazy. Oh, drop it. Cool. I could nuke the field here. Does that do anything? Kind of. Not really. Cool. Normal summon candle. Shitzuku. Sure. They didn't plan for that. Oh, rude. Okay. I'll look fast. What a fun game. Oh, what a fun game! Good game. I love Droplet, dude. I love Droplet. Yeah, I love that. Literally one card did fucking anything there, and it was fucking Droplet. Because literally nothing else wins them that game except for fucking Droplet. And of course that's what my opponent sees. Why would I not have the worst luck in the game? Just let me fucking play the game, Konami. Please! Ah! Thank you. But of course the Sky Striker player gets to see everything that they could have ever asked for. Why would they not get to see everything that they could have ever asked for? They're Sky Striker. Of course they get everything. Fuck Sky Striker. I fucking hate her. Oh my god, dude. What a shit deck. What a shit deck given everything they could have ever wanted. Why am I now playing against Sky Striker and Orcus? What the fuck? Can we ban Ash Blossom at this point? Chat, we get to play the game. That's crazy. Oh, fuck Konami. Yeah, fuck you. Hmm? Ah, yes. Right. I forgot I have to summon the Vados here. Do you think they have Nib? No, probably not, right? This is not what I meant to summon. It's fine. It doesn't matter. Add this guy. Does that do anything? Fucking no. Alright, then we will add this guy. Uh-huh. During your turn only! God, this deck is ass. Pass. Uh-huh. Yep. Slash draw, sure. Whoa, Fool loss, who would've guessed? Yep. You're fucking with me. Oh, cool. That's a hard once per. Why the fuck is that a hard once per? What do you mean? At least I can super poly the board. No fucking shot you have anything here. What the fuck are you talking about? Okay. Typhon. That's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I was saying, is that Typhon was not possible to summon there. God, dude, fuck these Striker players. Why am I now only playing against Sky Striker? Why can't I play against, like, a fun deck? Give me more Orcus. At the very least, Orcus is interesting.
But it's always the same motherfuckers. It's always the same skin and the same might and the same people. Imagine being creative. Couldn't be my opponents. Nope, nope, nope. They would never want to be creative. Being creative is cringe.
Well, hate to break it to you, but I don't have Jack, nor do I have shit. So, fuck me, I guess. Yeah, dude, you got it. I literally can't do anything with this hand. Go. Mm-hmm. Oh. Yup. Yup. Yep. Yeah. Sure. Mm-hmm. Is this someone from Grave? Cool. There we go. There we go. Don't love it. Huh? Okay. Hey, we actually gotta play the game. It just required me to literally turn skip myself. Fuck it, you go first. At this point, I don't think I want to go first. Is this like some Lightsworn FTK? Is a Lightsworn FTK playable? Oh, I sure hope not. Surely they, like, you know, banned Snow, right? Smile. Sure. Okay. Just fool. Ash? Nope, sick. Oh. Vados. Sure. Mm-hmm. Triple tack. What does this deck do? Am I dead? Is there like an FTK with this? There's got to be like an FTK, right? That's what we're doing. We're like FTKing. Yep. Droll is a card. I don't know how good it is, but it's a card, technically. Huh? Oh, that's fine. Huh? What are we doing here? Are we playing the triple packs? Yeah. Minerva, sure. Yeah. Sure. Triple attack. Let take. Draw. Sure. Do I need anything else here? No, I'll draw. Because at this point, I'm like, what is your win condition here? After I've drawn as many cards as I have. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, I genuinely don't know what this deck would accomplish here. They're gonna let FTK me? Can they FTK me? Maybe? The FTK legal? I don't think so, right? I don't think snow is legal. Is snow legal? Maybe. Mm-hmm. 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 Is Arrow Shark legal? I'm almost 1000% certain it is. Melia, sure. Fedora, sure. How much do you want to bet? Oh, never mind. Okay, Outcome's curious. Sure. What the fuck does curious do? What are they actually accomplishing with this? Yeah. Uh-huh. Yep. Uh-huh. What the fuck have you said? Drop that? Oh, sure. Uh-huh. Sure. Michael, that doesn't do anything. I don't know, I guess he's just here for a good time. Sure. Are we making like an 11? Okay. Yeah. If I don't have a zone to summon to, this could be an issue. What does it accomplish? No. That's great. That's great. We'll go Obsidian. Sick. Special here. Let's go Serperos. Serperos. Discard. I don't know this guy. Target this guy. Oh, yeah, sure, that's fine. I can still just like attack here, right? We go Avermax here? No. Okay. I guess we'll walk over this guy. Cool. Into we'll go Awakening of Vados. Opponent's side of the field. Add. This guy? Yup. There comes this guy. Pop this one. Yep. I don't know this guy, I guess. Okay. And then we'll go. Summon this guy here. Sure. Yep. Draw a card. Sure. Yeah, cool. Cool. Let's grab this guy. Oh. Send this guy. This guy. Sick. Fusion. No, wait, not that guy. This guy. You and you. Here. Okay. And then we go like this. And I guess I could just like if I normal this, I don't have a pyro that I can go into is the problem. Yeah, that's fine. We'll just pass. That's a card. Sure. Now what? Sure. Yep. Charge. Sure. Nah. Nah, I'd rather have you do this. I'd rather have you have this. Thanks. Here you go. I don't know, this guy, I guess. Sure. Why not? Yo, triple tack. Doing? Looking. Yeah, bud, sure. You can look at my hand. That's fine. My hand is not good. It doesn't do anything. Nice take, nice straw, too. Sure, dude. Oh. Oh, yeah. Fucking course, everyone just randomly has a fucking guy that they can use for Z material here. Why would they fucking not? So sick. Yup. Sure. Oh, cool. Bonfire. I like that stuff. Do I have another Vados in hand? Or engrave? I don't. Tragic. Okay. Add candle. Could go dark. Actually, I don't think I can I? No, I can't. It's just Draco Berserker here. Walk over this guy. Does that do anything? Technically no. Exactly does the same. Yeah. Do a Draco Berserker here. Mm-hmm. Combat. What was this guy? Nope. Uh-huh. Are you dead? Yes. Okay, cool. Yep. Sure. Mm-hmm. Fuck you. Nice deck that doesn't do anything. Imagine losing to fucking Ashened. Could not be me. Imagine being given the opportunity to go first. Doing the whole combo. Ending on your optimal end board. And then still dying. Also, where the fuck is Avermax? There's no shot you're not playing Avermax here. Like 1000% you play Avermax. Am I crazy? Also, is Snow banned? I gotta know if Snow is banned. Surely that card is banned, right? Yeah, we were in no threat of being FTK'd. I don't think the FTK is possible without Snow. Because I don't think you can get enough guys into Banish for Arrow Shark. Because I don't believe it's an infinite loop, if I'm not mistaken, with Arrow Shark. Because you have to go like... that, into that, into that, into that, into that, into that. Is it an... No, because you have to go like... You have to like shuffle back the Arrow Sharks. So yeah, if they only had like... Let's say they had like 10 banished. That's still not enough. Because it's only 100 per monster banished. So you'd have to like... I don't even know how you would get to 10. But you'd have to cycle it 8 times? Which I don't think is possible. I'd have to see the combo. Exactly. Because I've never actually seen it pulled off. I just know that it exists. I think it's literally like 1 into... I think you can do like 4 or 5. I think they can do 6 because you have to shuffle back with the shufflers. I think max you would be able to do is 6 with Arrow Shark. Could you do 9? No, because I don't think you have a way of putting like 3 Arrow Sharks. Oh, maybe you do. Maybe you could do 9. But I don't know if you have to have the extra deck space to be able to do that, and then still have the ability to like banish enough stuff. Yeah, I don't think it's technically possible. Well, maybe it is, but I don't think it's realistically possible. I don't think it's realistically possible. That was fun. What a fun set of games. Honestly, the games where we actually got to play the game were fun, but goddamn, dude, just getting fucking FTK'd by stupid-ass, bullshit-ass cards that just shouldn't exist is so fun, dude. I love that Slash Draw is a card that is... Just every Sky Striker person should have their internet privileges revoked. Like if you've played Sky Striker in the last like month, you should just be removed from the internet. I would also be banned because technically speaking, due to our challenge, I've played Sky Striker. Someone actually resolved Slash Draw. Yep, and it killed me. And I lost a game that was absolutely 100% my win. They literally had nothing they could do except for activate Slash Draw. And they immediately won because they hit Slash Draw. They had nothing else because it was Sky Striker, of course. And I gave them a big-ass fucking Vados on their field. Just, what an actual shit show of a game, dude. Eat each keyboard key with no water. You should have to eat 10 Popeyes biscuits, no drink, no sauce, in a minute. And if they can't, they are, for each attempt, they get a finger removed. And then if they're out of fingers, it's a toe. And then if they're out of toes, because we know none of them are women. Anyway, I'm going to call it quits there before I say anything else. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you guys did enjoy it. If you did, like is very much appreciated. And remember to always stay frosty. Bye.